Okay.
Mat 2, which is the mat that says Treynor, will be Riverside versus Missouri Valley.
Good evening and welcome in, folks. Nick Stavas alongside Steve Byer here in Treynor as we are getting set for a quad dual meet between Treynor, AHSTW, Missouri Valley, and Riverside. It should be a fun night of wrestling tonight, Steve, and it's going to be back with you. It's been a while, over a month, since we were last able to hit the mat together, but here we are, and it should be a fun night.
Well, that night we had a great matchup in the Hawkeye 10. Last time you and I worked together, we had Glenwood and Creston, and a rather impressive win by Creston that night. Tonight, with the squads that we have here out of the Western Iowa Conference, Missouri Valley may not be as strong as they have in some of the recent years, but Missouri Valley is one of those teams that always seems to peak at the right time, come on strong at the end of the season. Of course, with Treynor, you'll see one of the best big men, and we've seen a lot of good big men, but Dan Gregory, one of the best, and he anchors this Treynor lineup.
We will step aside for the national. Welcome back into the KMAX stream. Nick Stavas, Steve Byer here with you in Treynor as we are getting set for a quad dual meet. Treynor, AHSTW, Mo Valley, and Riverside. Tonight's dual order, the order of business, in Session 1 will be Treynor versus AHSTW, Riverside versus Mo Valley. In Session 2 it'll be Treynor versus Riverside, AHSTW versus Mo Valley. And Session 3 it will just be AHSTW versus Riverside. Don't have a definitive answer on why Treynor will not be taking on Mo Valley, but I think it has something to do with the amount of matches that they've wrestled in the past week. But either way, that will not happen, so we will just have one duel to cap off the night. But, Steve, as we were saying, we're going to see a lot of good wrestlers on the mat. But, probably the best one, at least on paper, is Dan Gregory, the heavyweight for Treynor. He's been in the ranked in the top 5 in Class 1A all year, and he just continues to roll. What do you expect to see from a guy like him tonight and this Treynor team as a whole?
Well, the Treynor team is having a solid year, and, of course, Dan Gregory, as I mentioned, just has lived up to the billings. All the rankings are legit. He's had a great season, has dominated at several of the tournaments that the Cardinals have attended, and looks like tonight we're going to start at 2:20, so we're going to see big guys early, and we'll get a chance to see him in action here in just a few minutes.
So just to explain to the viewers how we're going to do this, the Missouri Valley and Riverside duel will be on the left-hand side of your screen. The Treynor AHSTW duel will be on the right-hand side of your screen. We are going to focus on the right-hand side tonight in terms of what we're calling. We will see all 4 teams on that right-hand side, as on the left side, we already have some action getting going, but just to make sure people understand, we're not ignoring everybody. It's just hard to kind of jump back and forth, and already we almost have a pin over here on the left-hand side. As this is Jake Sazama of Missouri Valley and Caden Forrestal of Riverside, and Caden Forrestal in a really nice position to start us off. But here on the right-hand side where we will focus, it'll be Lowell Knott of Treynor and Henry Lund of AHSTW. Of course, Lund, a pretty good standout here for the Vikings here, Steve.
Yeah, nice strapping, well put together young man.
We already had a pin over on the left-hand side of your stream. We'll call that mat 1. We'll call the other mat 2. And Henry Lund already with a takedown here, Steve.
And they work back now to the center of the mat. Again from the neutral position. Very confident on his feet. Goes to that single leg, that high single. Picks it up. Near the out of bounds. He's got to be careful. Use the mat properly. Turns and brings him back in. Second takedown of this match. And that quickly is going to release and seems to be very comfortable working from his feet, Nick.
Of course, Henry Lund, the brother of Braden Lund, who's a standout basketball player for AHSTW. Both of them standout football players during the Vikings' really good football season as Henry Lund secures another takedown. And right now, up 6-2, 6-3 now with the escape.
Just looks very comfortable on his feet. He seems to be able to penetrate into that high single.
Really nice wrist control there on the right side as well, Steve.
Yep. Good job pummeling and battling there. And now a shot. Not very good penetration encountered. And 4 takedowns now in this match.
35 seconds left in this match. The scoreboard on your bottom left corner of your screen is the scoreboard of the match we are calling, so makes it a little bit easier. Once again, Henry Lund in on a single leg.
Yeah, he's got that picked up really nice, bringing his opponent back to the center, trips him down right in the center of the mat.
And he just keeps going back to the well with that, Steve.
Yep, and until they stop you, you might as well go back to it.
Yeah, exactly. Now he's going to look to turn, and he's going to get some back points here at the end of the period. So Henry Lund dominant so far over Lowell Knott. 13-4 the score after the first period, and Lund is going to be looking for some bonus points here, Steve.
He certainly will be, and already 10-4, so just a couple points away from being into the bonus situation.
Knott starts on top, Lund quickly out, and it's 14-4. Is it 10-4 or is it? Yeah, there we go. It's 14-4. The scoreboard here in the gym was a little slow. I'm looking at Track Wrestling, which is up to date. Always takes a little bit to get your bearings at these things. There's another double leg takedown there for Henry Lund, and he is making light work of Lowell Knott right now. Meanwhile, on the other side, on the left-hand side of your screen, we have Tobin Lassiter of Missouri Valley and Braden Comstock of Riverside in a pretty good match here at 113 pounds.
They're back around to the small guys.
Yeah,
now,
they had a and there's a pin there for Henry Lund as he runs through Lowell Knott there with the second period fall. Yeah, on the other side, they had a forfeit at heavyweight and a forfeit at 106, so they are already rolling through that duel. We are going to have some open weight classes tonight, but for the most part, Steve, it looks like these cards are pretty full.
Yeah, this will be an interesting evening because, as you say, all 4 teams are putting out a nearly full lineup, so we won't get too many forfeits.
So now the big boys coming out here. Dan Gregory, ranked number 3 in the state in Class 2A, taking on Sawyer Kiesel of AHSTW. And this is what we mentioned earlier, Steve. I mean, Gregory's kind of the main attraction for this Treynor team in terms of on paper, and instantly takes Sawyer Kiesel to his back. And Kiesel is already in big trouble.
Yeah, we're less than 10 seconds into this, and he's got Kiesel in trouble. Kiesel doing a good job, though, fighting off his back. Gives up the 3 near falls, but
nicely done there by Kiesel to get off of his back to his base for now, but Dan Gregory working on the wrist control underneath. Meanwhile, on the other side, Braden Comstock's looking really good, and he just got the pin over Tobin Lassiter. So Riverside up 18-6 in that duel, I believe. Meanwhile, 6-0 here on the Treynor AHSTW mat. And Jan Gregory going to work up 5-0 here just about 50 seconds into this first period against Sawyer Kiesel. What do you like about Gregory, Steve? What stands out to you about him? What makes him so good and makes him a contender for the state title this year?
Well, one of the things I really like is how well he keeps his weight distributed when he's wrestling. You know, a lot of times for big wrestlers, they have problems with getting too high or getting off center, and he does a good job of maintaining proper body position, keeping his weight to where it's at his best advantage. The other thing is he always is on the attack. He's an aggressive-minded wrestler, and right now he's working on that arm bar. And even though he hasn't tipped Kiesel yet, he's got pressure on him.
He's got the arm bar and the wrist control on the right side. He's looking really good here if he can just get Kiesel over. Kiesel's doing a good job staying off his back for the moment, as Gregory hasn't been able to turn him since that initial turn. 10 seconds left in the period. We'll see if Sawyer can get out of this without giving up some more back points. It doesn't look like he's going to, though, as the ref begins to count him off. And Kiesel in trouble with 1 second, and that's going to do it. So no first period fall, but that's 3 more near fall points for Dan Gregory. It makes it 8-0 at the end of the first period.
Impressive opening period there for Dan Gregory. He was able to easily get a takedown and then work some pinning combinations, work for some near fall points. Credit Sawyer Kiesel, though. He was able to fight his way out, though, and hold off for those last few seconds of the first period.
Meanwhile, on the other end, Eli Beckera of Mo Valley is up 6-2 on Kellen Oliver of Riverside. Riverside up 18-6 in that match. An escape point there for Dan Gregory makes it 9-0 here on the right-hand side of your screen.
Well, Nick, are you a mullet fan?
I
pointed this out to Trevor Saturday.
Frankly, Steve, I am not. It depends on what you look like and your body type, I feel like, but generally I feel like the mullet went away for a reason, but it's coming back, so maybe I should grow one.
Well, Dan Gregory doesn't have a mullet, but he's got a half in and he's got a fall.
He's got a pin. Dan Gregory pins Sawyer Kiesel. He was up 11-0 there in the second period and dominates that one. Meanwhile, on the other side here, Eli Beckera continues.
Yeah. Becerra,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Eli Becerra sports one of those mullets, Nick, that might be why there's not very many mullets anymore.
Well, Eli Becerra up 10-4 on Kellen Oliver of Riverside. So this Treynor AHSTW duel all tied up now at 6 apiece. And now, I believe at 106 pounds, we will have a forfeit of some sort, and it is going to be Treynor who forfeits it. So AHSTW sends out Chris Holmes, the freshman, gets his hand raised. Easy night for him there, Steve.
Well, so far an easy night.
6 points for him. We might get another forfeit here, 113. It does not appear on the program, at least, that AHSTW has a 113-pounder.
Referee tonight on the mat to our right is Steve Lefevre, and he's going to double check.
Steve's doing a really good job raising those hands there.
Well, he's a veteran. He's been through all kinds of matches, 30-some years of officiating. I've kind of lost track.
So it appears now we are through the forfeits for this. Well, I might be wrong. I might have just lied to you because it looks like...
Well, there's a little bit of jockeying going on here.
It looks like maybe Treynor will forfeit 120 here. We'll see what we get. And that is going to be the case. So Treynor will forfeit 120 as Tucker Osbar goes out there to take the forfeit. Now we should get a match, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, over here on the other side, Becerra up 13-7 And I believe he may have just gotten the technical fall there, Steve. 23-8 was the final score of that one. And Eli Becerra takes care of Kellen Oliver. Gets Mo Valley back within 6. That score's 18-12. Still waiting on him another match here, and we're going to get one on this right-hand side.
Yeah, does the scoreboard only go up to 19?
That might. I believe it might, Steve. It might be a good observation by you there.
Because I think they were having trouble getting points on the board there.
So this is going to be Luke Parrott of Treynor and Gatlin Gettler, one of the better names in all of KMA land. Gatlin Gettler for AHSTW here at 126 pounds. 18-12 the score on the duel. Treynor leads after all that forfeit saga, but now we have some wrestling going on, and immediately Luke Parrott working on a Russian tie there.
And the collar tie up, down on their knees, now back up on their feet. A lot of vertical motion. The pummeling back and forth that we see now is something more characteristic of what you see in big guys with a collar tie. And there was a shot for a single, and then a front headlock. And Gettler trying to utilize that front headlock. Parrott trying to clear out of it, though.
Almost in on a single leg there a couple times was Gettler, but Parrott so far doing a good job. But that front headlock is tight, and Gettler does not want to let it go. And now, look at this.
Well, Parrott was able to stay on his toes and work to the side. Had he gone down on his knees, then Gettler would have brought full weight down on his head. But he was able to stay on his toes, and Luke Parrott, by staying on his toes, was able to work around to the side and eventually counter that front headlock and get the first takedown. So an interesting match developing here at 26 as now Gettler is able to escape. And that was a legitimate escape. 2-1 now.
If you just heard the crowd war, Jack Brannon of Riverside just pinned Quinn Herman of Mo Valley in the first period, and now that brings us to the end of the first period between AHSTW's Gatlin Gettler and Treynor's Luke Parrott. 2-1 Parrott with the lead. And we'll see what they choose here as Gettler's going to go down.
And Gettler wastes no time getting that
nice
stand-up.
Explosion there. Parrott trying to catch that leg, and he does. Nicely done there by Luke Parrott.
Took a boost by Parrott to bring Gettler back down to the mat, but Gettler goes right to his base and right back to work trying to get out. Deep waist by Parrott. Trying to chop that left arm, pull that left wrist in. He does get it in, but Gettler stands and turns away for the first escape and first points here in the second period. So we're tied up now, 2 apiece. A takedown for Parrott and 2 escapes for Gettler so far.
A little hand fighting going on here. Gettler trying to grab that Russian tie again, and they go off the mat out of bounds.
And this is something right now, a warning for backing off the mat against Parrott. So that may be a factor later in this match.
It's interesting. Obviously, Gettler has some sort of move he wants to do off of that Russian tie because he just continues to try to get it. Now a nice whizzer here by Gettler to fend off Parrott for the moment.
Well, Nick, you know how important it is. Probably on your feet is the critical place where if you can feel comfortable with something, you like to be in that position. And a good job here by Luke Parrott countering that whizzer, coming across to the far hip and getting Gettler to give up that whizzer. And now Parrott back up by 2 points as he leads now 4-2 with 2 takedowns in this match. No surprise here. Gettler back to his feet, peeling Parrott's hands, and he'll get the escape. 4-3 now, as this has been one of those matches where a takedown, an escape, a takedown, an escape.
A very evenly matched match so far here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jackson Gordon just pinned Chris Wonder of Mo Valley. So Riverside with another pin. They are up 36-11 in that duel on the other side of the mat. So taking care of business right now is Oakland Riverside, as that will bring us to the end of the second period here. 4-3 the score. Parrott's probably going to get down here. What do you want to see from these guys in this final period here, Steve?
Well, Parrott's in a good position. I like anytime you've got the lead and the choice in the third period. He's going to choose the down position. If he can get out quickly on the whistle, he's really in good shape. Now, Gettler from top is going to have to break him down. You know, this is not a situation where it's likely that Gettler's going to want to turn him loose and try taking him down, because he hasn't been successful thus far in the match from the feet. So he's going to want to work a pinning combination, and I imagine he'll probably use 1:20 grinding away on Parrott, trying to turn him before he'll even consider anything else.
Is that a potentially dangerous call there, Steve?
Yes. And nice sit out here by Parrott. He's able to come up to his feet. He turns and faces. Gettler still has an underhook and a headlock situation, and Gettler won't get him tossed.
Scramble here, interesting. Gettler still hanging on to that headlock for dear life, but right now Luke Parrott in really good position to get a reversal. It won't even be an escape. It'll be a reversal if he could just pop that head out. Gettler with the shoulder flexibility there just hangs onto the head. He finally has to let it go, and Luke Parrott scores the reversal, and now straight to his back goes Gatlin Gettler. Gettler in big trouble here.
Yeah, Gettler probably held on too long, Nick, and he's in trouble now.
Parrott trying to finish him off. He's racked up a lot of near fall points here. Gettler tries to roll through. He sinks himself in deeper. And Luke Parrott is in a really good spot here. Gatlin Gettler is pinned. Luke Parrott takes advantage of the mistake by Gatlin Gettler and earns the fall in a really good match there, Steve.
Certainly was, and in that period we saw Gettler start out with the headlock, but it eventually was Parrott who used the headlock to get that pin. So I guess Gatlin Gettler would feel like he got shot with his own gun.
Yeah, absolutely. So that puts Treynor, that evens up the, is that right? I don't think that's right. I think it's 24-12 Treynor, I believe. I believe it was 18-12 Treynor prior to that. I could be wrong, though. The scoreboard says 18-18, so I suppose we'll see if they switch that. But either way, a nice win there by Luke Parrott, a third period fall. And now at 100 and...
Whoa, guys, we didn't get the clock reset.
No.
Yeah, we've got scoreboard issues.
Yeah,
hey, folks, somebody... We don't have a clock running.
Yeah, there's no clock running in this match. We also don't know who it is. So Track Wrestling has yet to update, as does the scoreboard. So we're just going to kind of hang out here and bear with us. Okay, it's Coy Cones versus Eli Collins. Trainor's Cones and AHSTW's Collins. And now the Track Wrestling timer is correct. So we're going to go off of that for now.
Okay. Yeah, it's showing 1:34. We got folks here in the stands now. I've noticed the scoreboard.
I'm not sure why Mr. Lefevre here maybe wants to take a break, stop the action while they get that sorted out. Maybe not. Looks like we might have a natural stop of the action, though. Some blood time potentially here on the leg of Coates. The score's 2-2 right out of the gate here at 132 pounds. And now they're messing with the timer. I suppose that's the blood time on Track Wrestling here, says 5 minutes.
Yeah, that bottom clock that you see there now in period one, that's the blood time.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Riley Radke of Missouri Valley leaves Taven Moore of Riverside 11-2 here in the waning seconds of the second period.
Okay. We're doing a lot of work on the scoreboard.
Yeah, so I believe they were trying to fix the team score. I think the team score is 24-12 Treynor, but I could be wrong there. But now they're just going to have to let the clock run until...
Yeah, and you see Steve Lefevre, the official, brings the two coaches together, and I think they can go back off Track Wrestling and find
where the
right
action was stopped.
Yeah, the right time here. And that is what the official is trying to do, get the scoreboard so it's displaying. There we go. That looks about right.
All right, so I think we have everything situated. 1:18 to go in the first period here at 138 pounds. 2-2 is the score between Coates and Collins. Coates of Treynor, Collins of AHSTW. Collins in the top position at the moment.
And Collins with that deep waist attacking the arm, but Coates with a quick sit out, comes out to the front, grabs the leg, but Collins comes back around on him, grabbing the leg and coming back the other way. So good scramble there. And Collins again attacking the wrists and arms. 50 seconds left, and I'm pretty sure that's right this time. And they'll go out of bounds. You know, one thing about it, Nick, Steve Lefevre spent a career in banking and finance and working with numbers. So if there's one guy I would trust out there to get the scoreboard right, it'd be Steve.
Meanwhile, Eli Collins with the escape point there makes it 3-2. Coates a freshman for Treynor. Eli Collins a junior for HSTW. And we're going to ride with that 18-18 score here in the duel. I thought it was 24-12, but they haven't changed it, so I'm going to ride with what they say there on the scoreboard.
And, you know, earlier I said being comfortable on your feet probably more critical than any other aspect of wrestling. If you can be comfortable on your feet. And right now, Coates just does not look comfortable on his feet. He keeps working with his headgear and trying to, you notice how he just kind of does not feel like he's ready to go there. Now, Collins is one of those guys, I used to describe him this way, and it always got Dean kind of chuckling, but he could almost tread water in the garden hose. He is one tall, slim young man.
He is a beanstalk for sure.
Nice sit out there. He's got the leg, trying to come around the hips, has the head popped out to the side, and he'll get the reversal. 4-3 now.
Well done on the reversal there from Eli Collins, who leads 4-3 in this match. I don't think that's, I suppose it is, okay.
And there's a half on the far side by Collins, and he's got the arm trapped on the other side, so good opportunity here for Collins to drive Coates over, and he does.
Keep his hips low here. Keep his hips low, and now Coates is in trouble, and that's going to do it. Eli Collins with the pin of Coy Coates in this matchup at 138 pounds as AHSTW. So that's what's been confusing me here, Steve. For some reason, AHSTW is the home team on the scoreboard, even though we are in Treynor. So
yeah, and you know, and I'll say this: one of the things that happens, and I'm fortunate that I'm colorblind, so I don't see these things. But when
you're colorblind,
yeah, when Treynor typically is in their red uniforms, they wear the
red anklets.
Anklets, and that kind of makes sense.
Yep.
And red is visitor on the scoreboard.
Right. Well, now it's apparently 20-0 according to the scoreboard. Well, all kinds of scoreboard issues tonight, but we'll move away from that, Steve. What did you like from Eli Collins in that match there at 138 pounds?
Just staying aggressive and using his leverage, using the skill set that he has and the physicality that he has. He's not brute strength, but he's a leverage guy, and he used it. And you saw that there in the end where he was able to actually initiate that half from the far side, keeping the arm trapped on the near side. And then once he got it in, and somebody with short, squatty arms like mine, not going to be able to do that, but he could. And then jump to the other side and run that half deep and get the pin. And that's one of the things that's great about the sport of wrestling. You know, kids can figure out for their body type, their skill set, their natural physicality, can figure out a way to win.
So a forfeit there at 145 as Treynor sends out Jude Thiel to take the forfeit. AHSTW open at that weight class. So now we should get a match at 152 pounds. Meanwhile, over on the other side.
Yeah, and You know what? Track wrestling has the team score 24-18. The scoreboard's got 30-24.
I always try to trust track wrestling at all costs because it usually typically seems pretty accurate. So now we will have Danny Kinsella against Dayton Mortal. And Kinsella is one of those guys, Steve, that had some maybe the performance of the night when we called Treynor in Glenwood about a month and a half ago. And since then, he has been wrestling really well. What is a guy like Kinsella? What kind of challenges does he present on the mat at 152?
Well, one of the things is he's quick on his feet, and it's a big advantage for him. And if you remember that night against,
I believe he was Tate Mayberry.
Against Tate Mayberry.
Classic match, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those where he's got a big engine. He keeps going, keeps coming at you, and was able to get Mayberry in an opportunity where he could win the match, and that was a big win for Kinsella.
And now Kinsella up 2-0 on Dayton Mortal here in the opening minute of this first period. A nice double leg takedown there. Now working from the top position. Mortal trying to get back to his base, and he does. He's able to get back to his feet. We'll see if he can work those hands, and he does, as Kinsella kind of just cuts him there. And now immediately Mortal working on that Russian tie. And Steve, that is one thing I've noticed these Viking wrestlers really like, is that 2-on-1.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things, too, that Coach McCarty does a great job of teaching that, getting hand control from the neutral position. If you can take away the guy's hands, he's got a harder time of making penetration and getting a takedown.
So 2-1 still the score here. 19 seconds to go in this first period. AHSTW leading by 6 here in the duel. Kinsella up 2-1 over Dayton Mortal in this match as the first period comes to a close here. 7 seconds left on the clock as they go out of bounds, and we get a stalling green. So a stalling call on Dayton Mortal there. Interesting.
Yeah. And again, kind of backing away, backing out of bounds.
Now Kinsella in on another shot as the period expires. That one looked like a pretty promising single leg there, but time runs out, and it is Kinsella's choice, and he defers as Mortal takes down. He will start in the down position. 2-1 the score. Danny Kinsella with the lead here at 152. Kinsella able to break down Mortal right away.
Yeah, I was going to say, good job chopping that near arm and taking away one of the supports. And now Mortal has to work his way back up, and he does. We saw this earlier. He likes to stand up with the outside leg. Now he hits a sit out front, but getting a little bit dangerous here because anytime you got your shoulders further back than your hips in a sit-out position, there's a possibility you may get put on your back. He did a nice job turning out of that and getting back to his base. And, of course, the guy that's in the top position, he's going to try to pull your shoulders back, which is what Kinsella did. Really a lot of fighting going on for wrist control. Now finally Mortal gets both wrists free momentarily.
60 seconds gone here in this second period. 2-1 still the score. Danny Kinsella controlling Mortal on the ground pretty handily right now, but Dayton Mortal still very much in this match.
Yeah, Mortal just can't free that left arm. Kinsella's doing a good job on a one-on-one wrist control there. And then he goes to work right now trying to get a chicken wing on the right side. Can't quite get it. Mortal's really resisting. And there again, Kinsella consistently goes back to chopping that left arm, trapping that wrist. Now with a 2-on-1, now works to a half Nelson. Back to the other side trying to work a half Nelson. Down to 12 seconds here in the second period. Kinsella's been in control, but this is very tight on the scoreboard. It's one of those one-move matches right now.
2 seconds left in this second period. 2-1 still the score. Kinsella with the lead. And if this was college, he'd have some pretty nice riding time stacked up at the moment, but it's not, so no riding time. No riding time points, as that brings us to the end of the second period. 2-1 still the score. Kinsella rides out Mortal for the entire period, and now Kinsella gets down. And obviously, you know, for him to get the choice defer, obviously pretty confident in his ability to ride, Steve. And he immediately gets out and gets the one here off the bottom to start this third period, and he's up 3-1.
Nice quick stand up there, got in a high arm over situation, knew which way to turn, and made it look easy.
Kinsella going to work on another shot here. Mortal's in on a single leg. Nice sprawl there by Kinsella. Now he's got that back leg trying to work around. Now Mortal in a bit of trouble here as Kinsella with the overhook.
Kinsella would have liked to work the front headlock, but Mortal did a good job of catching Kinsella's hand. There again, controlling hands. Both of these wrestlers have done a good job in the neutral position of controlling hands.
Mortal, a really nice job there. Kinsella was just going to kind of back off and reset, and Mortal got a hold of his wrist. He said, get back here, and they're right back into a collar tie. Now Mortal trying to work on that 2-on-1, something that we continue to see these Viking wrestlers go to. But he hasn't been able to work much off of it. We'll see what he can do here.
You see
Danny Kinsella with a really nice ability to get behind Mortal, and he's able to secure the takedown. Nicely done there, Steve.
Yeah, and it all started with Kinsella keeping his head to the side and not letting that 2-on-1 get developed into a Russian tie-up. And by blocking off Mortal's efforts there, he was able to get something going for his own offense. And it looks like Kinsella's confident enough on his feet right now. He's going to give him a point and go neutral. So 5-2 right now. Treynor's Danny Kinsella with the lead. And we're at about 25 seconds left to go.
Good match here at 152 pounds between Danny Kinsella and Dayton Mortal. And this is going to be an important one for this duel. This is a close duel right now. It's either 30-24 or 24-18. Either way, AHSTW leads by 6. Dayton Mortal's got to get to work here with 13 seconds left on the clock. He's got the front headlock. But nice job there by Danny Kinsella to control the wrist. 4 seconds now, and that is going to do it. Danny Kinsella, the winner at 152 pounds. Good match there, Steve.
Yes.
A solid performance. Really felt like Danny Kinsella stayed within himself and was able to just grind out a win there.
Yeah, well-contested match. Both wrestlers wrestled up to their capabilities. Kinsella just a little better, and in some of those close situations, maybe took advantage of a little better body position to be able to score the points that it took to notch the win.
So that takes us to a 160-pound matchup. 24-21 is the score. I don't think it's 30-27. I believe track wrestling is correct, but I could be wrong.
Well, and we've got the coaches looking at the scoreboard too. Now they're going to go over to the bench because I think there might be a little chess game going on here, and they want to be sure what the team score actually is.
We're going to get Caden Baxter of AHSTW taking on Zach Robbins of Treynor at 160 pounds. So 3 matches left in this duel, and it is still very much up for grabs here. 24-21 we think is the score. Either way, AHSTW leads by 3. It doesn't really change much in terms of what the actual score is. Baxter for AHSTW, a sophomore at 160 pounds, and he's immediately in on a shot here on the sophomore Zach Robbins. A couple of 10th graders going at it here in a duel that is probably going to get pretty intense here down the stretch with 3 matches to go. Once again, straight into that 2-on-1, Steve. That is obviously something Coach Evan McCarthy of AHSTW emphasizes. And, you know, Steve, explain why grab the 2-on-1. What can you work off of that?
Well, if you do that, I always said that's kind of the gateway into the singles, especially a high singles series.
As almost a takedown there. They just go out of bounds as Zach Robbins was in on a takedown. But as you were, Steve.
Yeah, if you can control that guy on one side with a 2-on-1, it really opens up that side. Now a nice shot with good penetration. And Baxter's going to try coming up through the back door here.
And he does. Robbins just holding on to that leg for dear life right now, but that is going to be 2 for Caden Baxter, and he scores the first points of this match with 40 seconds to go in the first period.
Good change of levels and penetration by Baxter as he was able to get in on that. I think he really wanted to shoot a clean double, but ended up, sometimes your head ends up in between, and you're not able to dump the guy to the side, so you have to come through the legs. And Baxter was able to execute that properly, posted his head up, pulled down on one side.
Now Baxter with Robbins in some trouble here.
Yep, trying to work
counting off
tilt.
Some back points, and that tilt is going to turn into, we'll see if they did not award any back points. Interesting. It looked like he was counting them off. He was not. And now Baxter a little too high, but the period comes to an end and 2-0 to score. Baxter looked like a kicker to you, Steve? He's a very good kicker for HSTW this past fall. One of the best kickers percentage-wise in the entire district. Better than the Cowboys kicker, that's for sure. Brett Maher.
I knew that would go. He's got some leg strength. You can see that. Oh, and again, a nice shot on a double there by Baxter. Doesn't get it, but he comes up into the upper body and throws Robbins.
Really nice throw there from Caden Baxter. Zach Robbins in some big trouble here in dire straits, and a nicely done, well-executed move there from Caden Baxter to earn the fall, and that's big points in this duel, Steve.
Well, that was a great transition. He had initiated a double leg shot, and when Robbins was able to counter that, he worked into the upper body, took advantage of an underhook that Robbins had put in, and then threw him. And it wasn't long after that for the fall to materialize. Now, here's what I can see here. Track wrestling is not showing any match at 113 or 120 in the matches.
Okay.
And I think we had a forfeit each way there.
So they negated. So they added the points to the scoreboard. They did not add them to track wrestling. It really makes no difference. It's a 9-point lead for HSTW. Yep. We'll go with 36-27 because technically those 6 points do count. But here we got Josh Nelson of Treynor with a Steve Byer approved mullet, and Isaac Stamp of AHSTW.
I don't know if I approve it, but I'll identify it as such.
And immediately, Isaac Stamp working off that. Nice. Well done on the counterattack by Stamp as Nelson went in for the shot. Stamp able to sprawl, get around, and get his 2 points. And now working on a half Nelson immediately.
And he's got that half Nelson in first on the left side. Now he's gone to the far side, the right side. And he's got his leg in on the left side. Not exactly the way you want it. And he's trying to work his way back out of that. Nelson doing a good job.
Nice scramble here, yes.
Scrapping away.
But now he's got himself in some trouble as he flips over to the top there, and they're out of bounds. So all that crazy scramble and really no points awarded to either guy.
I thought maybe Nelson was going to give up some back points. Maybe he was going to break free, and as it turned out, neither one happened.
So Stamp working on top here, still off that first takedown. 60 seconds to go in this first period. Stamp looking to try to turn Josh Nelson, but Nelson able to get up and reverse that as Isaac Stamp. That was a big mistake, Steve.
Yeah, I was just about to say what I liked about Stamp is he's doing such a good job working arms behind arms and getting half Nelsons and trapping wrists, and then all of a sudden he got anxious, went up over the shoulder, and he got himself in trouble. I didn't get it out soon enough and loud enough for him to hear. Keep your arms behind his arms. Stay on that attack with the half Nelson.
Stamp working to escape. Josh Nelson able to toss him back to the mat for the time being. We got a lock hands call on Josh Nelson. Now he's working on that chicken wing, and they're going to award a point to Isaac Stamp off the lock hands from Josh Nelson. And
Coach
head coach Trey.
He's not real.
Trey Stickler, or excuse me. Yeah, Evan McCarthy. I'm not sure. What was Evan McCarthy yelling about?
Well, he wasn't real happy.
His wrestler got the point there.
Yeah, but he wasn't real happy how Stamp had gotten in the down position to start with. He was using a little more colorful description than what I was on the radio. That's okay, Evan. I've been there too.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Riverside took down Mo Valley 59-29. We'll see both of those teams later in the night, wrestling throughout the night. So don't worry, we'll get to those wrestlers as well. For right now, we're locked in on Treynor and AHSTW.
Stamp got to his feet, but he can't get his. Oh, we got a warning for stalling. Who's going to stop that? And that's just Nelson hanging on to that ankle for dear life. I thought we might see a stalemate come out of that. Now Stamp does a good job again, stepping up, coming to his feet, peeling his hands free. He's got the escape now. He's up 4-2.
Immediately, Isaac Stamp back in on another shot, and now Josh Nelson in some trouble here. Straight to his back he goes, so he's going to get the 2 for the takedown, and he's going to get 3 near-fall points there. Isaac Stamp takes a 9-2 lead over Josh Nelson.
And Nelson had to use that backstroke for a while there to keep moving so he didn't get pinned. He integrated a little bit of swimming into the wrestling here, but a deep half Nelson. Now, I'm going to say it this time before he messes things up, but Stamp doing a nice job with the deep half Nelson and attacking that arm. Looks like he's going to get that right arm hammered up now. Nelson's in trouble.
50 seconds to work here for Isaac Stamp, plenty of time.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's got plenty of time to work this right. He'd like to run a lock and key, but instead he
goes to the cradle. A cradle for Isaac Stamp. Josh Nelson in trouble here. Lots of time to go here in the second period, over 30 seconds. Josh Nelson trying to scramble out of it, but Isaac Stamp with a tight cradle, and he just got it tighter. The near fall points are there, and then he switches back to the other side, and that is going to do it. Josh Nelson in big trouble there. What a savvy move there by Isaac Stamp.
Yeah, he was getting kind of loose off to the side and then rotated back to the other side, tightened things up a bunch, redistributed his weight, and it was lights out then for Nelson.
Isaac Stamp, the junior for AHSTW, secures the pin, and that should do it for this duel. With 2 matches left. Remember, we started at 220 pounds, so we got 182 and 95 left. But I believe that puts AHSTW up 15 points, meaning they will win this duel. With still 2 matches to go here, and another mullet rolling out onto the mat just for you, Steve Byer.
Yeah.
Coach Conover's 200th victory at Riverside.
And an impressive feat there for Riverside head coach Casey Conover. It is his 200th career victory, 200th career dual win, and they're breaking out a banner for him. We'll talk more about him. A joyfully animated character on the sideline for Riverside per usual. We'll talk more about him when we do see Riverside later in the evening, but congratulations to him. That win over Missouri Valley, which they won 59-29, is Coach Casey Conover's 200th career dual win at Riverside. Pretty awesome accomplishment there, Steve, as we have Colby Weiss in on a takedown of Levi Young. Weiss of AHSTW in the blue, Treynor and Levi's Young in the black.
And Young trying to hang on to that leg. And meanwhile, Colby Weiss with that cradle locked up on the far side, not really where he wants to be. If Young can pop his head out, and he does, Young has the takedown. That's what he needed to do, and he did it.
Nicely done there by Levi Young.
Colby Weiss gets to his feet, peels out, and gets the 1-point escape. 2-1 now. And again, Levi Young changing levels down below. And he'll get a second takedown out of this.
Well done there by Levi Young. Up 4-1 now in this match at 182 pounds. 35 seconds remaining in this first period. AHSTW has already clinched the dual victory, up 15 points. But still Treynor trying to go out on a good note here.
And I'll say it now early, Levi Young doing a nice job attacking wrists and arms. Maybe a little too aggressively there. Steve Lefevre is going to say, we'll stop that action, potentially dangerous. I think the chicken wing on the right-hand side was maybe being leveraged a little bit forward. Right off the whistle, Young's able to trap the left arm, has the one-on-one at the wrist, gets it hammered up. He's going to go to work on that. Only 5 seconds left. If he's going to get anything, he's going to have to go quick, and he ran out of time.
So that takes us to the end of the first period. 4-1 the score, as Levi Young with a strong opening frame against Colby Weiss, which this will be the last mention of the mullet tonight. Probably not, but I'm going to say it is. Whose was better, Josh Nelson's or Levi Young's, Steve? I will say a mullet always looks better when you're winning.
Yeah, that's probably.
In which case, Levi Young would probably take that for now, but we'll see later in the evening. Meanwhile, Colby Weiss working on the top position here, doing a nice job riding Levi Young at the moment, but Weiss needs to get to work here, down 3 early in the second period, and now Levi Young able to get to his base, breaks the hands for the moment. Still hanging on, though, is Colby Weiss. And there it is. He cuts him.
Yeah, he got to the point where he felt like, I'm not going to get him back down to the mat. I might as well let him go here. And Young goes right into that deep underhook. He's got the head on the same side as the underhook. I always like seeing that.
Oh, nicely done there by Colby Weiss with the snap down. Able to secure the takedown here against Levi Young, makes it 5-3, and we've got a good match on our hands, Steve.
Yep, that gets him right back into it with that takedown. And just that quickly gets off balance, falls to his hip, and Young gets the reversal. And here again, I'll say this, I really like the aggressiveness here by Young, going on the attack, trapping the wrist. He's got the lock and key now. He got a little bit loose, lost it. I could tell him you don't want to go elbow to elbow when you got the lock and key. You want to go shoulder to shoulder.
15 seconds to go here in the second period. 7-3 the score. Levi Young with the lead, and now we get a stoppage here by
I think we got blood
Steve
time.
Lefevre, and it looks like a little blood time. So just to remind everybody, next up it'll be Treynor against Riverside, AHSTW against Mo Valley. So we will, I believe, stay on the Treynor Riverside duel. It depends on which side they go on here, but we are back to action here, and a quick roll through there by Colby Weiss.
Yeah, good quick move off the whistle.
Now Weiss
hanging on for dear life right now.
Stuffing the head, trying to get his hips around. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and nicely done there by Levi Young to hang on and not give up any points there, Steve.
Yeah, that was a situation where he knew it was a short time and he could lock up. As long as he could be tough for about 5 seconds, he could save the point. So we're going to start third period neutral position here.
Yeah. 7-3 the score. Levi Young of Treynor with the lead over Colby Weiss of AHSTW. And we get another takedown there from Levi Young.
Nice job with the underhook. Had the head on the same side, protecting it the other way. Changed levels. Dropped in real nice on the takedown. And here we go again, attacking the wrists. I like seeing this. Take that man off of his space. Go on the attack. 2-on-1 now to work that left arm out. Break his hips back down. That's what you need to do. He's going to go clear back to the hips and start all over.
Nice sit up there by Colby Weiss, but unable to do anything with it, as Levi Young showing off some riding skills here with just over a minute to go in this third and final period.
Now that arm bar on the far side, but they're going to go out of bounds. That's one of those where you got to be a student of geography. You got to know where you are on the mat and not waste that effort, because you may be turning him to his back, but you're almost to the front row of the bleachers by the time you get him over. Now in the center of the mat.
Young still working.
And here again, that situation where you sit out and you get your hips too far out.
Got his hips too far out, and Young was able to lock in that underhook and take him straight to his back, and now in big trouble is Colby Weiss. Young looking to cap off a great match with a fall here in the third period. 40 seconds to work, and that'll do it. Levi Young with the third period fall of Colby Weiss. A solid match up until that point, but once again, Colby Weiss just makes one too many mistakes, and Levi Young makes him pay.
Yep, that's one of the unique things about wrestling. No matter what the score is up to that point, the pin cancels everything. So might have been a close competitive match, but it's going to look like a pin score the same as a first period pin, for that matter, in the scorebook.
And it's been a close competitive duel here, Steve, between these two Western Iowa Conference rivals. Of course, AHSTW is going to win because this is our last match of this duel, and they are up 9 points. So it is mathematically impossible for AHSTW to lose. But here at 195 pounds, you got to wait for track wrestling to refresh, because I don't want to tell you somebody who is not out there.
I think this is Rafe Gayer for Treynor and Logan Heller for AHSTW.
Okay, yes. Yep,
Heller,
you are
Gayer.
correct. $195-pound match here, last match of the duel, and immediately in on a takedown here in the first period is Logan Heller. Nicely done there by Rafe Gayer, defended off for the time being, but deeper and deeper, and there he goes. Nicely done by Logan Heller to get the takedown.
You see a kid like Logan Heller.
And a hard, violent crossface, and now Logan Heller's in big trouble. Rafe Gayer suddenly with a chance to finish it, and that'll do it, and the crowd goes crazy. Rafe Gayer earns the win at 195 pounds, and Logan Heller cannot believe it. He looked like he was going to cruise to a win there, makes one fatal mistake, and in the first 45 seconds, Rafe Gayer earns the upset win.
Well, again, a situation where maybe a little bit over-aggressive and going over the shoulder, getting yourself out front and getting dumped over.
All right, Steve, so we are going to take a short break here between matches so I can tweet out some scores and you can go to the mullet judging competition. We'll be back, and we'll call it about 2 minutes here on the.
Here it is. This is where my passion is my major.
With more than 80 areas of study, dozens of clubs and activities to choose from, and advisors who ask the right questions and offer support, it's easy to be you at Iowa Western.
The Cattle Drive food truck based in Council Bluffs is a family-owned and operated business with a mission of providing you with great food and friendly service. Follow Cattle Drive CB on Twitter and the Cattle Drive on Facebook to keep track of where you can get the most succulent steak sandwich around. Cattle Drive is now offering catering too. No job is too big or too small, so call 402-290-9818 or check them out online at cattledrivecb.com. The Cattle Drive, where you are the number one stakeholder.
It's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team now on FullerDigital.net. Home and away, if we're covering your team's videos are on FullerDigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the game. Thank you for watching our events, and remember, the games are on FullerDigital.net.
Judd Knispel at State Farm Insurance has over 23 years State Farm experience, and he wants to protect what's important to you. Their centrally located office has team members that have over 20 years of experience in the industry, and being in Iowa right on the border has allowed them to be able to serve both Iowa and Nebraska. For auto, home, property, business, life, and health, visit with Judd Knispel today at Judd Knispel Insurance Agency, your State Farm Insurance agent in Council Bluffs.
McIntosh Plumbing Council Bluffs is here for all your plumbing needs. We'll keep the water working and no job is too big or too small. McIntosh Plumbing guarantees their work and they are available 24/7. Find them online or call today. McIntosh Plumbing Council Bluffs.
Minky Auction and Realty of Treynor specializes in the marketing and sale of farmland, acreages, residential and commercial properties at auction or traditional listings. Talk with Byron Minky. You need help deciding whether to list your property or sell it at public auction. Byron is the broker-owner of Minky Auction and Realty with 10 licensed agents serving all of Southwest Iowa and Southeast Nebraska. They've conducted hundreds of personal property auctions. Visit minkyauction.com or call 712-487-3542.
The end of a marriage comes with many emotions and uncertainties. You may feel confused, lost, and alone. Let the professionals at Simpson Legal Group give you a helping hand. With a combined 25 years of experience, Shannon and Jaylee Simpson will listen, advise, and give you your options in plain language, putting you in the best position for your next steps in life. If you are in need of a divorce or family law attorney, don't take this path alone. Let us guide you. Contact Simpson Legal Group today.
Here it is. This is where my passion is my major.
With more than 80 areas of study, dozens of clubs and activities to choose from, and advisors who ask the right questions and offer support, it's easy to be you at Iowa Western.
The Cattle Drive food truck based in Council Bluffs is a family-owned and operated business with a mission of providing you with great food and friendly service. Follow Cattle Drive CB on Twitter and the Cattle Drive on Facebook to keep track of where you can get the most succulent steak sandwich around. Cattle Drive is now offering catering too. No job is too big or too small, so call 402-290-9818 or check them out online at cattledrivecb.com. The Cattle Drive, where you are the number one stakeholder.
Welcome back into the KMA Extreme. Alongside Steve Byer, I'm Nick Stavis, and we are underway already here in this second of 3 duels we will call tonight. And we have some forfeits going on as Dan Gregory, unfortunately, Steve, we won't see him in this duel as he just took a forfeit at heavyweight. Yeah. It's Riverside and Treynor on the right-hand side of your screen, which, just like the last duel, we will focus on primarily. Meanwhile, Missouri Valley will take on AHSTW on the left-hand side. All kinds of forfeits here to start out this match, but it looks like we're going to get a match here at 113 pounds.
Right, we're at 6-6, a forfeit each direction.
Yeah.
285, 106, and now 113 will be our first contested match.
So here we go in this match between Jet Sorensen of Treynor and Davis Bramman of Riverside. So Riverside forfeits heavyweight, Treynor forfeits 106. And we are off and running here at 113 pounds with a 6-6 score in the duel. And immediately in on a single leg is Jet Sorensen, but a nicely done sprawl there so far by Davis Bramman, and he's able to secure the takedown.
Right, he did a nice job coming around behind the hips, tried to get a cradle locked up, was not able to do that, but did secure the takedown. Now he's got the cradle locked up.
Jet Sorensen in a little bit of trouble here early in this first period, just 45 seconds into this match. And they're going to award some near fall points to Davis Bramman, 3 of them to be exact, as Steve Lefevre holds up the trace, and it's 5-0.
5-0, and we're 58 seconds into this match.
Nice explosion there from Sorensen, and he's able to get out in the escape immediately, and it's 5-1 now as Bramman still holds on to the lead.
Kind of a contrast in body styles here.
Yeah, Sorensen short, stocky. On the opposite side, Bramman very long and lanky for 113 pounds, quite tall, and immediately Sorensen is in trouble again. A nice takedown there from Davis Bramman makes it 7-1. 20 seconds left in this first period. Bramman working on the outside arm. And Sorensen reaches back, grabs a leg, and we got a scramble here. But Bramman able to keep control here with 5 seconds to go in the first period.
Using that crossface real tough.
And that takes us to the end of the first period. Solid period there from Davis Bramman of Riverside. What do you like from him so far, Steve?
Well, the aggressiveness on top. He's looking for cradles, using the crossface hard, trying to set something up. Always looking for the opportunity to score some more points.
Davis Bramman, a sophomore for Riverside. Jet Sorensen, a freshman for Treynor. Pretty typical in these lower weights to see underclassmen.
Yeah, nice sit out and turn there. This is one of those where you've got to be careful. You can get yourself pinned.
And that'll do it. Jet Sorensen just gets a little too high. Nicely done there by Davis Bramman on the sit out. Turns it into a fall. And that makes it 12-6 Riverside. And Coach Casey Conover is fired up. And as we mentioned earlier, Casey Conover with a nice accomplishment, Steve. 200 career dual wins with that win over Missouri Valley 53-29 earlier in the night. I presented him with a nice banner and announced it over the PA. Looks like we're going to get a forfeit here at 120 pounds as
that's going to jump it to 18-6 then in the team score. So
Kellen Oliver goes out to take the forfeit for Riverside. And now it looks like we will get a match at 120 pounds, but like you said, Steve, 18-6 already the score. So for the first time tonight at 120 pounds, not sure who we're seeing here. Actually, we're right already up to 126, my bad. 126, this is Luke Parrott, who we saw get the win in the last duel against Keegan Allensworth of Riverside, both freshmen.
Allensworth trying to control that left arm, drag it by.
And he does so nicely, still working to get that leg out for the takedown. But it looks like he's going to control it unless Oliver can just... Actually, this is Kellen Oliver of Riverside, my bad. This is not Keegan Allensworth. This is Kellen Oliver of Riverside against Luke Parrott of Treynor. Oliver, a sophomore for the Bulldogs. Is there anything more uncertain? Maybe the weather and a lineup card at a wrestling meet.
Yeah, I would say that that's one of those things.
You never know. You just don't know.
And you know what?
Thank God for track wrestling. How did you guys do it before that, Steve?
Well, you usually had somebody sitting over there at the scorer's table making sure who was checking in at each weight class, because, you know, it is one of those things that right up until the time you go out on the mat, wrestlers are eligible to wrestle at two different weight classes, and a lot of times coaches will take advantage of matchups bumping a guy up. They may move somebody up and turn a JV wrestler in a place where maybe they're picking up a forfeit. And so you see the lineups aren't quite like they first appear, at least when the printed program is printed.
Meanwhile, Kellen Oliver working on a nice leg turk here, trying to turn Luke Parrott. 2-0 the score. Oliver with the lead, 20 seconds remaining in this first period.
Really working hard for that half Nelson on the right side. And he's got it dug in now. And he'll get some back points here at the end of the first period. He gets the pin.
Wow. At the buzzer.
Yeah.
Steve Byer. Holy cow. Kellen Oliver with the fall. With 4 seconds remaining in the first period. Impressive.
You saw him digging in, and once he got him over, he had him nailed down, and that is impressive.
So now it is 24-6. Riverside with the lead over Treynor. Yeah, Casey Conover loves that result there from Kellen Oliver.
Well, they've got some momentum rolling now.
So now here at 132, with a 24-6 lead, Riverside sends out Jack Brannon while Coy Kotz is out there for Treynor, and immediately Jack Brannon locks up a cradle here, Steve.
Yeah, he went right to work. Before he even had the takedown secured, he had a cradle locked, and he was comfortable in that position. He did get the takedown awarded then, was not able to turn him over. And now the coaching staff, they turn him loose.
Now front headlock here for Jack Brannon and underhook. Right now, Coates just trying to survive. And immediately he's going to go straight to his back as Jack Brannon looking for another pin for the Bulldogs. Team up off their feet. Coates just trying to survive here for Treynor, but still a long time, just under a minute, and at 52 seconds, that'll do it. Jack Brannon with another fall for the Bulldogs. And right now, Riverside is rolling up 30-6 over Treynor.
Another impressive win by a pin, and the aggressiveness is just building. You see it match by match here.
Yeah, you can kind of tell it's a theme amongst these Riverside wrestlers, as it looks like we're going to get a forfeit at 138 pounds. So now we will go to 145. One thing I've noticed about Riverside compared to the other teams here, Steve, and this is just an outside observation, but it really feels like everyone on the Riverside sideline is engaged. Coach Conover has them up and clapping, and they go through the handshake line after they're done wrestling. It just seems like a very, very much team atmosphere here on this Bulldog sideline.
And that's one of the things a good coach will do when you've got an individual sport like this, one participant at a time, but to keep the team concept. And you're right, Coach Conover's doing that.
Now we get a takedown here from Jude Thiel of Treynor wrestling Taven Moore of Riverside.
Yeah, Thiel able to pick that single leg up really high.
Thiel just a freshman, Moore just a sophomore here at 145 pounds. Riverside up 36-6 after that forfeit at 138, so in full control of the dual match score. And a nice toss back to the mat as Jude Thiel stays in control of Taven Moore, up 2-0 here with 1:13 to go.
And now Moore's bracing out hard to the left side there. He doesn't want Thiel to be able to take him back in bounds. Now Moore grabbing a leg, stepping behind the other one. He's going to dump Thiel, and he does before they go out of bounds. And he'll get the reversal. 2 points is going to tie it up.
Taven Moore with a nice move there right on the edge of the mat. 52 seconds left in this first period.
Good mat sense there by Moore.
Yeah.
He realized where he was, both in terms of when Thiel was being the aggressor, and then when he had his opening, being able to finish his move off in bounds to get the reversal points. Now Moore going to work on that arm. He's got a deep half in.
And another pin for the Riverside Bulldogs. Much to the pleasure of the team there on the side. Taven Moore able to secure the fall in the first period of Jude Thiel of Treynor. And a 42-6 lead now for the Bulldogs. They are running through this match at the moment. Impressive stuff here so far. Like you said, the aggression from the Bulldogs has been evident in the short-lived, about 10 minutes so far, and we've gotten through
we look
7 weight classes.
Yeah, we look over to our left, and
they're still at 280. They're still in the first match.
Yeah, they're wrestling 285 yet.
Still in the first match over there on the left side. So
in the first,
we might get to call both of these duels.
Yeah, in the first match, and they're tied up. No, they're not. They're 3-0.
Danny Kinsella and Jet Rose, 2 really good wrestling names here. Treynor's Danny Kinsella, Riverside's Jet Rose. Here at 152 pounds, and immediately Rose working on the 2-on-1.
Yeah, again, that idea of controlling your opponent's hands when you're on your feet, if you can do that, get yourself comfortable.
.30 seconds into this match, no score yet. Here at 152 pounds.
Yeah, Rose trying to work for double inside position. Kinsella not going to concede that.
Danny Kinsella, a junior for the Cardinals. Jet Rose, another sophomore for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Kinsella had a nice shot there, but Rose, a little taller, lankier, was able to get his leg worked back. Now with the deep underhook is Kinsella. Rose trying to work something, looks like maybe out of a Kelly series out of that. But Kinsella doing a nice job keeping his balance, keeping his feet wide. And they'll come back up to the feet. Now counter shot by Kinsella. Good exchange there. No points scored, but lots of action.
Steve, Rose is one of 5 sophomores in this Riverside lineup. They only have 2 upperclassmen, 1 senior, 1 junior. The rest are all freshmen and sophomores, and for a coach like Casey Conover, that as we get some blood time here, for Casey Conover, that has to be pretty exciting for the future to have all these guys getting varsity experience in their first couple of years on the mat.
It's a great opportunity for these kids. Of course, one of the things about wrestling as a sport, you never know how the weights are going to change as they advance to their junior and senior year. But it certainly is an exciting thing, as you say, to have that kind of a talent pool and youth in your mat room.
Braden Comstock, Keegan Allensworth, Jack Brannon, Jackson Gordon, and Wyatt Bell are all freshmen. Davis Bramman, Callan Oliver, Taven Moore, Jet Rose, AC Roller, and Caden Forstall, all sophomores for the Bulldogs. So a young, energetic, aggressive lineup here for Casey Conover's squad. And it looks like now we're going to get back from this blood time here as Kinsella is patched up and still no score here with 30 seconds left in the first period. Good match so far, Steve.
Lots of action in this, shots and counter shots. And these two guys are really pummeling each other. Now a shot, but a good counter. Again, Kinsella fights off that attack by Jeff Rose. Rose had what would ordinarily be a successful shot, but Kinsella quick on his feet with great balance, able to fight it off. And now Kinsella trying to hook up a Russian tie-up. Rose blocking his head, though. And that's how the first period's going to end, 0-0.
I think Danny Kinsella is just a sucker for close matches, Steve. It feels like every time I call one of his matches, it is just an absolute barn burner. Whether it's high scoring or not, it's exciting.
Well, and he's one of those kids that he's got the endurance to go the distance and sometimes get stronger as the match goes on.
So Kinsella in the top position, working off the top here to start this second period. Still no score in this 152-pound match between Jet Rose and Danny Kinsella. 42-6 the score. Riverside already has the duel locked up. We'll see if Treynor can get a bright spot here with Danny Kinsella. They're only points so far from a forfeit.
Yeah, Kinsella doing a nice job riding real tough. Rose gets to his feet here, trying to peel the hands. Kinsella steps in front, trips him back, and they'll go out of bounds.
Minute 15 left in the second period. Go ahead, Steve.
You just feel like these guys are battling for every inch of advantage they can get over the other. There's a little too quick of a start and a caution then on Kinsella. No, that was on Rose.
I believe that was on Rose, yep.
Yeah, Rose underneath.
Kinsella working on that underneath wrist there and doing a nice job of riding out Jet Rose with 60 seconds left in this second period. And if he can get through this second period without surrendering a point, he's going to get bottom position to start the third. Now he's working on trying to turn Jet Rose, but Rose gets back to his base. This is just good. This good match, Steve.
Yeah, Kinsella really attacking a 2-on-1 on the right side. Now he's going over to the left side, trying to find a weakness in Rose's defense. Rose now with a sit-out, turns, tries to come to his feet. Kinsella brings him right back to the mat, though. Rose only able to get about halfway up. And again, he gets one leg up. And there he finally gets to his feet.
Up to his feet goes Jet Rose with 16 seconds. Kinsella has to cut him, and that's a huge point. And a bit discouraging there for Danny Kinsella, who showed some really nice riding skills for about 45 seconds of this period. Now he's in on a takedown, and he secures the single. What a move there by Danny Kinsella at the end of the second. Not only does he get that point back, but he takes the lead, Steve Byer, 2-1 headed into the third.
2 seconds left on the clock when he was able to get that.
15 seconds left when Jet Rose escaped.
Yeah, so, that's one of those things where you realize there's a short time. Get your shot so that you've got a chance. It looks like maybe somebody's bleeding a little bit. Is that Kinsella?
I think Kinsella's bleeding again.
Over the eyebrow.
Got a little scrape over the eyebrow that keeps cutting open They were checking to see if there was any blood from Kinsella on Jet Rose. It looks like there is not. And now Alex Oliver is going to take that chance to coach a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he wipes the blood off. Meanwhile, over in the other mat, it's still only 6-0, Steve. They're in the second match of that duel right now between Missouri Valley and AHSTW. Mo Valley has the lead. Meanwhile, here on your right-hand side, we're going to get back to the action as Danny Kinsella's eye is patched up again. And he starts on the bottom here with a 2-1 lead. A huge flurry of action there at the end of the second period, and then gets us to a 2-1 margin. Yeah. And Danny Kinsella still not out.
Nope.
Jet Rose doing a good job working that leg and now working for the trip.
And it's going to be
stalling on Riverside's
Yep.
Jet Rose. Interesting.
Well, he wasn't able to bring him back down to the mat, and you don't have a very long period of time in order to do that, and he was hanging on to that leg for dear life.
Nicely done there on the sit out there by Danny Kinsella. An immediate reversal, and that's just explosiveness from Kinsella there, Steve.
Nice job sitting his hips out and going into that switch situation, getting that reversal. 4-1 now, and Kinsella starting to show that stamina and that endurance that I talked about earlier. He sometimes wrestles his best wrestling in the third period because of that stamina factor.
Kinsella working on the single leg now after Rose was able to pop up for a second. Back down to his stomach goes Jet Rose, and Danny Kinsella looking real nice here with just over a minute to go.
And Kinsella, good tight waist, kind of trying to cradle right now, reach for that cradle, didn't get it but trapped an arm, and now Rose is in a bit of trouble. We'll see if Kinsella can capitalize on this. He's got the right arm trapped. He's trying to work around to the side, but Rose does a nice job threading it back through the eye of the needle, getting back to his base, or at least back to his belly for right now, now to his base, working his way up. 30 seconds left to go.
Yeah, he's got to get to work here, Steve. And we get a stalling green, so stalling called on Danny Kinsella. So stalling warnings on both wrestlers so far. The next stall call will be a point, but I don't think we'll probably get that with 26 seconds left. And now an explosion here from Jet Rose, just trying to get out, working on the hands, trying to break the hands. Kinsella holding tight for a second, and then he's going to cut him. And now with 17 seconds left, Jet Rose in on a shot here. He needs a takedown, down 4-2. 12 seconds to go. Kinsella working on the leg. Nice job there from Kinsella. Trying to get around 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and time is going to run out on Jet Rose. And a really fun match. And once again, Danny Kinsella, a participant in an absolute barn burner of a match as he gets the win 4-2 over Jet Rose.
Certainly an exciting match. And, I was just thinking both wrestlers were warned for stalling. But did you really feel like there was ever a lull in that match?
No, I absolutely not.
There might have.
It was more just technicalities, I think.
Yep, some technicality type things there, because I think we had 6 pretty good minutes of wrestling there. That was a great match, great high school match.
It always is when Danny Kinsella's on the mat, it seems like.
Yep, we've seen some great ones out of him, and now going to move up to 160. Let's see.
So at 160 pounds, of course, Riverside already has this duel wrapped up 42-9. It'll be Jonathan Gonzalez, the lone senior on Riverside's roster, taking on Zach Robbins of Treynor.
Well, Gonzalez slipped there. Every once in a while you'll see that in boxing where a guy tries something and just loses his way.
Nice takedown there from Zach Robbins. Well done. And now Gonzalez in some trouble here. Robbins trying to keep that head. Gonzalez has to try to roll through this, but Robbins does a really nice job passing over to the other side, and he gets his hips level, and now Gonzalez is in real trouble here, Steve. And that'll do it.
Well, that gives the Treynor crowd something to cheer about.
Zach Robbins, a really nice performance there. Immediately able to get the takedown and the pin just 43 seconds into that one to make it 42-15 as we move on to 170 pounds now. And this is going to be Josh Nelson, owner of Steve's Favorite Mullet, taking on AC Roller, I believe, of Riverside. And they might both weigh 170, Steve, but AC Roller looks like he has some serious size on Josh Nelson.
Oh, and he gets in on a nice double leg and gets that finished before they go out of bounds.
2-0 to score here, just 11 seconds into this one here at 170 pounds.
And Roller's
going to cut him.
Very confident on his feet. He's going to give the point and say, let's start neutral again. Let's start this all over again. And just that quickly, Roller's in on a single, switches to a double, and has the two before they go out of bounds. So 2 takedowns for AC Roller early in this match. We're only 24 seconds into this match.
(4-1) the score here. 90 seconds left in this first period still, and AC Roller in full control for the Bulldogs.
He's got that right arm trapped, now trying to work on the left arm. And it goes 4.5 Nelson on that left side. Trying to work it in deep. Nelson does a nice job peeling it off. Now Nelson trying to come up, stands up with the outside leg, rolls through.
Roller immediately able to get back in a dominant position. That was impressive stuff, Steve, because a lot of wrestlers would have been in big trouble there with the move that Roller pulled off, but he was able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can roll Roller. It doesn't work that way. Roller back on the attack. He's got that right side, right arm trapped, trying to get a half in here on the left side. Right now, Josh Nelson, though, doing a good job pinching down on that. Trying to work back up to his base.
AC Roller continues to be in full control here as the clock ticks down in the first period. 19 seconds left now.
Boy, AC Roller's been a bulldog about going after that right arm. He's got it hammered up now with 10 seconds to go. And I think he realizes he's running out of time, and that's where we'll end that period, that first period, and we'll go to the second period. It was Nelson's choice, and he deferred. Roller's going to choose down.
4-1 the score. Roller with the lead here at 170 pounds. Riverside already has this duel locked up 42-15 with 3 matches to go.
And now it's Nelson's turn. He goes after the left arm of Roller. Had that wing in for a while. Got Roller flat down. And boy, he's getting a little physical.
Yeah, what was that? Potentially dangerous call.
Well, I think he called it illegal there. He
Josh
gave him
Nelson was just kind of shoving his, kind of hit him in the back of the head almost, it looked like.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think AC Roller's going to like that.
Yeah, we'll hope that things don't get too chippy before this is all over. Roller works his way out front and is able to escape. Now Nelson with the shot, but Roller able to counter it. Underhook by Roller, and you get the feeling here somebody's going to get tossed, but Nelson goes to his hip and scoots out of bounds. And I like this. Coach Conover is telling Roller, just calm down a little.
It was a little bit of a cheap shot there from Nelson, but you know, there's no point in responding to it because that won't do anything. He got the point, so 8-1 the score.
Yeah, and that's the part that you want the kids to focus on.
Yep.
You're up 8-1. You're the one winning.
AC Roller in full control here at 170 with a minute set to go in the second period. 8-1 the score. Probably should have mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Treynor is wearing their black singlets tonight. If anyone at home is confused as to why they aren't red, they're wearing their black and gold singlets tonight. They're alternate or whatever you want to call them. Meanwhile, AC Roller working on a half Nelson here.
Yeah, he's got it deep this time. And he's going to take his time. He's got that far side arm trapped.
And he's got plenty of time to work, Steve, here with 30 seconds. But nice job by Nelson to get back to his base.
And that's one of those things right now. Nelson might be down by 7, but he's got a lot of fight left in him. He does not want to go over and get pinned.
Roller still up 8-1 here as the clock ticks down in the second period. 10 seconds.
Yep. Roller with the left leg in, putting some pressure through the hip and the back. Now putting an elbow in the,
in the back of the neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
The back of Nelson's neck. So this match getting a little chippier and chippier as it goes on, but AC Roller still fully in control, up 8-1. Now referee Steve Lefevre is going to talk to the coach. What was that conversation about, Steve?
I think it was on who actually had the choice here in the last period. And Nelson had deferred, so it was his choice. He chose neutral, and Roller took him down in less than 5 seconds. So, and again, you see,
yep,
Roller traps that right wrist. It's almost like automatic. And then he comes to the left side working that half Nelson. And this time he is getting back points. So he's got major decision points now, 12-1. And he still has control of that right side. He's never given up that right wrist. Roller's trying to elevate it, and he does. He elevates that right wrist, gets the arm hammered up across the back of Nelson. Still lots of time left, and you'll remember Roller was working from this position as we closed out the second period.
Now we get a whistle, and
I'm not quite sure what.
Headgear maybe, Steve? I don't know. I don't know what that was. Not sure why that was stopped, but it's 3 back points for Roller, so he's up 12-1.
And again, he must go out and milk cows every morning just with the right hand, because his grip in that right hand, he's able to control wrist. Well, I said that. Now he's got the left wrist trapped, and we got a point awarded.
Green. Interesting. Stalling on
the bottom
Josh
man.
Nelson. So AC Roller's going to get another stalling point here.
Oh, he's going for a 3/4 Nelson now. He was a little bit too sideways, a little too much lateral pressure. When you do that, you got to get your arm, your shoulder into your opponent's armpit so that you're driving the guy forward, not sideways. AC was just a little bit too much out to the side on that one.
13-2 the score. AC Roller cruising to a win right now with 21 seconds left in this match at 170 pounds. Roller still working to try to turn Nelson. Not sure he's going to be able to do so, though. 8 seconds left. And he's going to try to tilt him here, but he bails on it, and that'll take us to the end of the match. 13-1 the final score of that one at 170 pounds as AC Roller takes care of business against Josh Nelson. And that makes it 46-15 Riverside with the lead.
Still a little bit of discussion going on over there between the Treynor coaching staff and the official.
I don't think Steve Lefevre was too happy. I mean, I think it was still about that first period.
And it was
kind of strange. He just postured up and kind of just started
Yeah, and
beaten on the back of Roller's head. I don't know if he meant to do it or what. If the emotions got the best of him there for a second, or because he stayed pretty level-headed the rest of the match, Steve.
Yeah, the thing that you hate as an official there, you start thinking, should I disqualify him for that?
Yeah.
Is that flagrant unsportsmanlike?
They called it unsportsmanlike on him and awarded Roller a point, and Roller goes on to cruise to a win here. So now, at 182 pounds, got him ahead of myself there for a second. Let's see if we can get track wrestling an update here.
Yeah,
it is Levi Young against Jackson Allen. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, that's Levi Young, and he's got the first takedown here, and working on takedown number 2.
And
he's in on the leg, and he's going to get it, and now it's 4-1. So Levi Young early, very confident on his feet. He's going to turn Jackson Allen loose again. 4-2, the individual score. And again, a shot on that single leg. And Levi Young gets his third takedown of the match. And we're just 1 minute into it, and he'll release him again, and now has a double pickup and another takedown. 8-3 now.
Young has a chance to turn Allen to his back here if he wants to. See if he just decides to cut him again or if he decides to put in a move here from the top. Looks like he's going to do the latter. Allen kind of just sitting there on the bottom with his arms tucked in, and we get a stalling call on Jackson Allen. Kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, you could see him just kind of turtle up there, pull everything in, and try to.
He's still kind of doing it.
Yeah.
Now Young just trying to work on some sort of turn, and he gets it there with 12 seconds left in the period. See if you can secure the fall here, and that'll do it. Levi Young stays perfect on the night with the pin of Jackson Allen at 182 pounds. So a nice bright spot there for Treynor he has been tonight. So that makes it 46-21 in favor of Riverside. Now it'll be 220 pounds. Meanwhile, over on the other mat, they are still way behind. They are at 138 pounds. I shouldn't say behind. And I mean, this duel has moved pretty quickly. And you know, if we get the chance and this one ends, we might as well just go ahead and call the other side too as well, Steve.
Yeah, jump on that one because they've had some hard-fought duels.
Yeah.
Some matches in that duel.
It's 14-12 right now in favor of Missouri Valley, so a very close duel. And this is Caden Forrestal of Riverside, Rafe Gayer of Treynor. Of course, Gayer with the upset of AHSTW's Logan Heller earlier in the night. Heller just made a mistake, and then once again, Rafe Gayer with the throw. Straight to his back goes Caden Forrestal. Forrestal's in trouble. Gayer needs to not get too high. Gayer sits back. Could it be another first period pin for Rafe Gayer? And he gets it done, and the crowd goes crazy again. Rafe Gayer with the fist pump. And this kid is rolling tonight, Steve.
He certainly is. And
2 pins in the first 45 seconds of both of his matches.
They just announced when they were announcing the Treynor seniors tonight that his future plans are he was going to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. So he's going to put that fight into good use.
I love it. I love it. So Rafe Gayer has wrestled less than a minute in aggregate tonight and has 2 pins. As the forfeit at 220 pounds ends the duel. Steve, 46-33, the final score really is. I mean, it doesn't really seem that indicative of you know, at least in the lower weights, Riverside looked really, really good in that duel.
They had so much momentum going, and pin after pin after pin, they just got such a lead build up, and you know that's one of those things about the way dual meets are conducted now, where you draw for the weight class. It can have a bearing on, you know, where you start, and if you got a strong spot in your lineup there, you can get off to a good start, maybe get some momentum going your way, maybe get some matchups because of the way the score is going, where you kind of have the other team at a disadvantage. Right now, over here in our
Yeah, let's talk about this one.
In Missouri Valley, we're at 15-14 at the 145-pound weight class.
And it looks like let's see.
Yeah, we're
some sort of stoppage. I guess they're just checking in at the scorer's table there.
Still kind of trying to get a pair of 45-pounders out here. Maybe this is why it's taken so long. It's been it takes you 2 or 3 minutes to get a match.
Just a quick recap of this one. Hayden Poole, Missouri Valley, pinned Sawyer Kiesel of AHSTW. Tobin Lassiter of Missouri Valley beat Chris Holmes in a 6-2 decision at 106 pounds. Double forfeit at 113, then Eli Becerra with a tech fall over Tucker Osbar of AHSTW for Missouri Valley. And then Gatlin Getler took a forfeit at 126. Eli Collins of AHSTW pinned Quinn Herman of Missouri Valley. And then Tyson Osbar of AHSTW with a 5-3 decision over Chris Wonder. So some really good, and then Riley Radke for Missouri Valley took the forfeit there at 145, which gets us to 20-14. Missouri Valley with the lead. Really nice, some really close matches here, Steve, in this one.
Been well contested, and we're underway now.
Yeah, who's up here for us, Steve?
At 152, and we've got Aiden
Verkameny
for Missouri Valley, Dayton Mortal for AHSTW.
Verkameny Mortal with a 4-1 lead here in the opening minute.
In tight again, and he's going to now be up 6-1, working around.
So just as a reminder for our watchers there at home, that scoreboard on your bottom left corner of your screen is not the scoreboard for the matches we are talking about now, as we have transitioned to the left side mat.
We'll get some bonus matches in here
that's
the viewers.
Right. For the viewers. For the people. We're for the people here, Steve. 6-1 the score. Dayton Mortal in control right now.
Yeah, Mortal locking up a cradle now near the out of bounds, and right now he's trying to work that cradle so that he can turn and back in. Loses it momentarily. But with that length of his, I think he's going to get it locked up again. It's just going to be a question of whether they go out of bounds. And they do. They go out of bounds. All that effort.
To continue controlling this match and maybe get some bonus points up 6-1 here as the first period ends. Of course, we saw Mortal in that really good match against Danny Kinsella. I mean, that goes without saying against Danny Kinsella.
Yeah, he's going to wrestle.
In terms of good matches.
Yeah, he's going to wrestle an active, upbeat match. Mortal wastes no time getting out, stands up, peels free, and right back on the attack. Has that right leg trapped. Kept control of the wrist the whole way, and here he goes back to that cradle. Mortal's got it locked up. Maybe has it a little bit too tight. You know how that can be, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
You get too tight and you got the guy's shoulder on your chest. Got to get a little bit of space there so he can turn. Now
and
Mortal
there's the cradle.
Yeah.
Mortal with Verkameny in big trouble. And that looks like it's going to do it. Just a matter of time here before the referee slaps that hand as Dayton Mortal with a really tight cradle here. Somehow Verkameny still working off his back, and there it is.
Yeah, about the time you say that, somehow he's working off his back. Well, that's usually a sign that he's not anymore.
So Dayton Mortal gets the win there, puts AHSTW up 21-20. Really nice duel here, Steve.
Yeah, back and forth here.
So now it looks like we're going to get another match here at 160 pounds.
It's
going to be
pounds.
Caden Baxter versus Ben Hansen. Baxter of AHSTW, Hansen of Missouri Valley. Baxter was able to get the win in his first time out this evening. Look at this 2-on-1 here from Ben Hansen. And they break.
Both wrestlers changing levels there at the same time. Fortunately, they didn't crack heads.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah,
it's not pretty.
You see that happening, and
it don't feel good either.
you have a couple 160-pounders going at it like two young rams. Hansen really likes circling to his left. Baxter's more a forward advancing. He'll come at you. A little drag down by Baxter now. Trying to hook up on the leg. Gets it, but he goes out of bounds.
They go flying into the chairs there on the left-hand side.
Yeah, you're supposed to have hay bales stacked up over there. When I was a kid, we wrestled up in the barn loft. And you were out of bounds when you were in the bales.
You wrestle in the barn loft, Steve.
Yep. That's.
You still do it?
No.
Nah, come on. Yeah, you do. You're lying to us.
Oh, nice shot there. Good change of level by
Really
Caden
nice
Baxter.
whizzer, though, there by Hansen, Steve. That was impressive.
Yeah, and now
Baxter trying to work back out of it.
Yeah, trying to work it forward, put that pressure back on Hansen.
That is a nice whizzer there from Ben Hansen. Good takedown defense there, and he will not let that arm go.
Look at the effort by Baxter, and
he finally
it out.
secures the takedown. Wow. Good scramble there as Caden Baxter able to take a 2-0 lead late in the first period. 8 seconds left. Baxter still trying to work. Make sure. Oh, and look at that. Ben Hansen with the escape at the buzzer.
Well, Hansen,
fun match so far.
Yeah, Hansen would not quit. He kept going, kept going, kept going. Finally broke away. Got 1 point back after a heck of a battle for the takedown. Now Baxter in the top position is going to have to figure out a way to ride Hansen, and Hansen comes to his feet, peels out, and in 9 seconds he's got the point back, and it's tied up 2 apiece. 2 escapes for Hansen and a takedown for Baxter. That's been the scoring so far.
Fun match here at 160 pounds. 90 seconds left in the second period. 2-2 the score between Caden Baxter of AHSTW and Ben Hansen of Mo Valley. The teams separated by just 1 point. AHSTW with a 21-20 lead in the duel. And this could be one of those pivotal matches. I believe they started at heavyweight, so there'll be 4 matches after this one potentially, barring any forfeits.
Yeah, this dual meet may very likely go right down to the wire because of that. Hansen's had a couple good shots here, and Baxter's been able to counter it. Now off the counter, Baxter almost gets Hansen down.
Impressive from Ben Hansen.
How about that for elevating the hips and casting over? Wow.
2 athletes here, Steve. You can tell the way they move.
Yeah, the athleticism, the quickness. 160-pound young men, very agile.
30 seconds left in the second period as they go off the mat. Two still to score. 25 seconds to go in the second period of this 160-pound match, and a nice double leg there by Ben Hansen, but a great whizzer from Caden Baxter.
Yeah, now we see it the situation reversed because In the first period, it was Hansen using the whizzer. Now Hansen able to shuck that whizzer out, and he'll get the takedown and a 4-2 lead. So Hansen takes the lead in this one.
Ben Hansen up 4-2, has scored all of his points in the final 10 seconds of each period. And he takes a 2-point lead into the third here at 160 pounds. A really fun match here between Caden Baxter and Ben Hansen, and Baxter will get bottom here to start.
Baxter's talking to himself a little bit, I think. Tries to
Hansen
turn in.
looking for the cradle, and Hansen might have it here, Steve. Hansen's got to get back a little bit, and Caden Baxter's in trouble. Hansen with the cradle here, looking for a huge pin, and now he gets too high, and Baxter...
Yeah, Baxter
just trying to sneak out the other side. Now Baxter's in trouble, and that'll do it. Ben Hansen with the third period pin of Caden Baxter at a huge potential turning point match in this duel as Mo Valley takes a 5-point lead in the duel off the pin.
It wasn't just Hansen fighting his way back and getting the lead on the points, but the bonus points from the fall could really be a factor in this duel meet.
Absolutely. So 26-21 the score now, a huge point swing there as it looked like it was going to come down to the wire and a decision, but Ben Hansen able to secure the pin in the cradle of Caden Baxter, and now at 170 pounds we get Isaac Stamp of AHSTW take on Lane Schroeder of Mo Valley.
Boy, these guys are active and all over for a couple 170-pounders. They're going at it.
High-paced stuff so far here in the opening seconds. And then on the single is Isaac Stamp, and he's got that deep. He's got to drive it forward. Schroeder trying to stuff the head here, but Isaac Stamp. And we're going to get a stalemate as Schroeder had that back ankle locked up.
He was sprawled about as well as you could also. Schroeder really doing a good job getting weight down on the shoulders of Isaac Stamp. We'll see if Stamp might shoot the other side. Now Stamp down.
Nice snap down and a quick reversal of fortunes there for Lane Schroeder as he gets the takedown, takes a 2-0 lead.
Well, it looked like Stamp was leaning into him a little bit, and Schroeder could feel it, snapped him forward, and very quickly spun around. Now he's going to work, trying to work that left arm out, and just as he does, Stamp's able to hit back over it. So Schroeder's going to scoot him back towards the center of the mat a little bit. Schroeder's got plenty of time here to work something. He's going to work on that wrist on the left side. We've got a warning for stalling on Stamp as Stamp just shifted into a purely defensive mode.
.26 seconds left in the first period. Schroeder with a 2-0 lead, still working off that first takedown.
Yeah, and we definitely have changed the pace of this match.
He was trying to work on a cradle now. Now
it looks like he's going to try to tilt him here. Final 10 seconds of the period, and Stamp able to free that arm up. Now comes
Stamp working
to
get out. 2 seconds, 1 second. They're going to give him the one there at the end of the period. Impressive stuff there from Isaac Stamp to explode out as the buzzer went off.
Yeah, after being kind of passive there and getting warned for stalling, he was able to find the wherewithal to get to his feet and peel out for an escape, cutting this to a 1-point margin, 2-1 now. Lane Schroeder of Missouri Valley with the lead. And here comes Stamp again, up to his feet. Schroeder trying to bring him back down. And now it's going to be Schroeder with the warning there. Kind of drug him out. Kind of drug Stamp out of bounds rather than take him back down to the mat. So each wrestler now has been dinged for stalling. 2-1. It's Schroeder still in the lead. 26-21, the team score now, with Missouri Valley in the lead. And Lane Schroeder of Missouri Valley leading this 170-pound match 2-1. And going to work there on the left side, trying to lock it up. locking Stamp's head with his elbow, trying to lock it through, run the locking key. He's got it. If he can lift the chin now and tip Stamp, Stamp is in trouble. And he's giving up back.
Stamp is pinned. Lane Schroeder secures the second period fall. And suddenly Missouri Valley has taken a big lead in this duel, Steve.
Have back-to-back pins, and those were both in matches, Nick, that were close.
Yeah.
Point-wise, competitive-wise.
Yeah, they weren't lopsided whatsoever,
And then you get a situation that develops, and a fall develops out of that. Here, AHST will pick up a forfeit at 182 pounds. This is going to take us to 195, and now it's 32-27.
And then the forfeit there for HSTW, so that will give them a 1-point lead. 33-32 the score.
And Kiefer Jensen looks at the scoreboard. 220-pound match coming up. 33-32. AHST leads by a single point. Nick, it's coming down to this match.
Yeah, it is. This is it right here. This is what you want. 220 pounds. 33-32 the score. AHSTW leads in the duel, and this is the final match of the duel. And this is none other
Henry Lund.
than Henry Lund.
And Lund gets the
And
takedown.
Lund wants nothing to do with this match, immediately taking Jake Sazama to his back.
Now, Sazama's in trouble, and he's got to find a way to get that arm through.
And this one is in danger of ending quickly here as Henry Lund looking for his second pin of the evening. Sazama fighting off his back as hard as he can, but that'll do it. And Henry Lund secures the dual win for AHSTW.
39-32.
Fun duel there. I'm glad we got to partake in some of that.
Great competition, and now this is one of those where if you're Missouri Valley and HSTW, you're saying, phew, we got one more to go, huh? Well, I guess only one of them have one more to go.
So we are going to take another quick break here as we have one more duel to go. It'll be AHSTW and Riverside for all the marbles here. Both teams 2-0 on the night. We'll be back in a couple minutes here on the KMAX.
It's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team now on FullerDigital.net. Home and away, if we're covering your team's videos are on FullerDigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the game. Thank you for watching our events, and remember, the games are on FullerDigital.net.
Judd Knispel at State Farm Insurance has over 23 years State Farm experience, and he wants to protect what's important to you. Their centrally located office has team members that have over 20 years of experience in the industry, and being in Iowa right on the border has allowed them to be able to serve both Iowa and Nebraska. For auto, home, property, business, life, and health, visit with Judd Knispel today at Judd Knispel Insurance Agency, your State Farm Insurance agent in Council Bluffs.
You can tell. Well, that's fun.
It was a good competitive duel, went back and forth.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah, have a great night. Go Cyclones.
Yeah, you got it. I haven't heard. My daughter's the social media intern for
you ready? Welcome back into the KMA Extreme. Nick Stavison, Steve Byer here with you as we are getting ready to wrap it up with the final duel of the evening. It's AHSTW. It's Riverside. Both teams 2-0 on the night so far. And we are going to start at the bottom. 106 pounds.
Yep.
The first weight class on the card and the first weight class of this duel. Steve, this should be an interesting one with two 2-0 teams here so far this evening.
Starting out here with the...
we're going to get a forfeit. Never mind. I thought maybe we finally might see a 106-pound match. We will not, as Riverside takes the forfeit.
Yep, that's going to make it 6-0. And for the folks watching at home, are we going to have the right scoreboard this time?
No, we will not. No.
Okay.
Well, maybe, because it looks like they're both the same now.
Okay.
So we'll see. Yeah, it looks like we do. Yes, we do. All right, they switched the scoreboards. Mo Valley and Treynor, in case anyone's wondering, didn't hear it off the top, are not wrestling tonight. I'm not entirely sure why. My guess is the state has a certain set amount of matches that a wrestler can wrestle within a 1 week, 7-day period. And so we had some speculation that maybe Treynor and Mo Valley were over that. So they will not wrestle. It will be AHSTW and Riverside, the lone mat, as they're rolling up on the right side. The left side is your lone mat here. And at 113 pounds, it is quite the size difference.
Yeah, it looks like Braden Comstock for Riverside, Chris Holmes for AHSTW. And Comstock definitely has the length on Holmes.
Yeah, no kidding. You are not kidding. 2-0 the score. Comstock with the early lead, looking for the cradle here on Chris Holmes. And he's got it. Back points being tallied here for Braden Comstock. And he gets the pin. Braden Comstock with a quick 49-second fall of Chris Holmes there.
I'm going to officially say that Braden Comstock can tread water in a garden hose.
Is he the tallest 13-pounder you've ever seen? I mean, the kid's got to be like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, you see kids like that.
I mean, maybe 5'10", 5'11", 113 pounds. I mean, the kid is
he'll
skin and bone, but he looks really good there.
He's one of those kids who will come back next year and be a 145-pounder.
So 12-0 right out of the gate here for for Riverside, and now we go on to 120 pounds. It'll be Kellen Oliver for the Bulldogs against Tucker Osbar of AHSTW. First time we've seen Osbar tonight. And Osbar immediately in on a high crotch there, turns it into a single leg, trying to drive forward. He's in deep, but he's in a tough position here.
Yeah, this is one of those where you don't want to work to the side like that. You're actually giving your opponent the advantage. Now he tries to double back up on that leg and pull it in, and we'll have a stalemate. We'll start all over again. A nice shot by Osbar, but for not. And again, it looks to me like the Riverside wrestlers quite a bit taller.
Yeah, they have some serious length. They should all be playing basketball. What are they doing out here?
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
I knew that would bother you. That's why I said it, Steve.
Shame on you, Nick.
Look at that. Nice little sweep by there from Kellen Oliver. Scores the takedown for the first points of the match.
He goes right to a half Nelson. He's got that right hand half in deep. Got the wrist trapped on the left side. Trying to go a little bit too forward. He needs to work out to the side. Walk it out to the side a little bit. Osbar, though, trying to wing down on it. Now it looks like Oliver's going to...
He's got that half Nelson in now.
Yeah, he's gone from one side to the other and now back to the original side. Maybe needs to give up the leg, because right now he's got too many things going on to get anything to go right. Boy, he's had a deep half in for a long time.
Yeah, he has. He's just trying to turn him, and now Osbar in a little bit of trouble here, trying to get Osbar off of his base, but Osbar continues to work through that, Steve.
Yeah, this is one of those, and you don't see it very often anymore, but it used to be pretty standard. You get a deep half in, you would grab the near thigh and lift that guy to make his hips turn. And what Osbar was able to do is he's able to keep his left leg out as a brace. His hips never went over. he had enough flexibility in his spine that even with that deep half that Oliver had, he couldn't get him turned.
Osbar working on top now, trailing 2-0 to Kellen Oliver, who is on bottom. Oliver in the white, blue, and gold singlet. Tucker Osbar for AHSTW in the royal blue and red singlet.
And now Osbar going to work on top. He's got the right arm winged up. He's got a half in. And he's going forward with it, and Oliver's in trouble.
Kellen Oliver in a little bit of trouble here for the Riverside Bulldogs. Leading 2-0, but on his back right now, and that'll do it. Tucker Osbar earns the fall at 120 pounds to put the Vikings on the board, and Kellen Oliver not too happy about that result. He knew he kind of let one go there.
Well, it was a situation where Osbar really fought for a long time when Oliver had a deep half in and was able to keep from going over. And Oliver, I don't think, was expecting the forward pressure because he actually went forward rather than sideways, and that's how he got put on his back. Couldn't get back off. And 6 points for AHSTW.
So 12-6 the score now. AHSTW still within 6 after having to forfeit 106 pounds. Now Logan Rose of Riverside takes on Gatlin Gettler of AHSTW. Gatlin Gettler, one of the more tongue twister names.
No, you just want to be sure that you've got your Fixodent holding your dentures in, because otherwise you say that too fast, your dentures are going to be about 3 rows out in the bleachers.
I don't have to worry about that, Steve.
Well,
nice front headlock here for Logan Rose, trying to get the takedown of Gettler. Gettler working off that whizzer, and now they are tied up here.
Oh, gosh.
And suddenly Gettler just puts his arm around him and earns the takedown. Not really sure what Logan Rose was doing there. Kind of fell asleep at the wheel. Maybe thought they were out of bounds.
Yeah, kind of a limp arm action there by Gettler to get an arm free and come back around, and Logan Rose was just a little bit like, well, what just happened? Now Rose reaching back, trying to get a headlock of sorts, but Gettler going to come out to the side, going to hammer up the left arm. 50 seconds left, a lot of time, and Rose is in trouble.
Logan Rose is pinned. Gatlin Gettler earns the fall as Logan Rose taken straight to his back and pinned in just a minute and 13 seconds, and we are all evened up at 12 apiece here in this duel. Good action so far, Steve.
Yeah, good action, and 132-pound match coming up, and again a contrast.
Treading water in the garden hose, Steve.
This time it's the AHSTW wrestler who is the long, lanky, leveraged one.
I mean, how tall can you be and still weigh 132 pounds? It just defies physics. It's Eli Collins. We saw him earlier in the night get a win against Jack Brannon, who is also 2-0 on the night. So 2 undefeated wrestlers so far this evening going at it here at 132 pounds. The score is tied 12-12 in the duel. 2 undefeated teams as well.
Oh,
one of them will go home defeated, and Eli Collins immediately able to get in on a takedown and a wild scramble, and it's 2-2. 2-2.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yes. Brandon had
the takedown. Collins with the reversal.
Yeah. Collins.
That first takedown happened so fast I missed it, Steve.
Yeah, momentarily Brandon had it, but Collins went right into a switch-type situation, able to get the reversal, and he's one to go for more. He's working on an arm, trying to get something going out of an arm lever. Deep waist. And I mean deep waist. He comes clear around, locks on the hip sometimes.
60 seconds gone in this first period. 2-2 the score. Eli Collins of AHSTW in the top position right now against Jack Brannon.
This situation that we see here where Eli Collins is trapping the wrist on the far side, getting that deep half, is something that AHSTW has really used a lot tonight. In fact, it's one of those things, I'm sure you go to their mat room on any day of practice and you'll probably see that dozens of times.
Jack Brannon has 2 first period pins so far this evening. He has not wrestled more than 90 seconds, but right now Eli Collins in control with 20 seconds left in the first period.
Well, Collins has had a half in for probably 50 out of the last 60 seconds. Now trying to work a power half. He's got the half back in, though. And again, Brandon able to peel it off.
Eli Collins also has 2 pins so far tonight. So these two were on a collision course all evening, and so far so good in terms of action. 2-2 the score after the first period.
And it's going to be Collins with the choice. He's going to choose down. Collins hitting that switch again.
Wow.
Coming
Impressive stuff from Eli Collins. Trying to hang on was his Jack Brannon.
Yeah, Jack Brannon with a nice re-switch.
And Eli Collins gets the reversal.
Yeah, he stayed with it until he got it. And here again, trapping that far wrist, running the near side half Nelson, and he's just putting the pressure on Brannon.
Steve, when you wrestle someone, this is a question. I didn't wrestle. When somebody wrestles and their opponent is so much longer and taller, what's the disadvantage, or I guess the advantage for the taller opponent? What's kind of the give and take there? What's it like?
Okay, and almost everybody I wrestled was taller than me, so I'll speak with some authority on that. And I always felt better on my feet, neutral position. I liked low singles and that type of attack.
Eli Collins working on a half Nelson here. Lost it for a second, still has it in.
The thing that I always had to be careful of is I was in the down position getting cradled, because those guys with the long arms and my short, squatty body, I had to really be careful not to ball up, not to bunch up. And so my best move from underneath usually was a stand-up.
Stalling warning was called on Jack Brannon. 4-2 still the score. Eli Collins with the lead. 25 seconds left in the second period. Collins working to turn. He had a half Nelson in there for a long time. Eventually let it go to start working on something else. Now he's got wrist control underneath. 14 seconds left. 4-2 the score. Tightly contested match here at 132 and a tied-up duel.
Right. And Collins really keeping the pressure on behind those arms, trapping a wrist, working a half Nelson.
So that's Jack Brannon.
Brannon's going to choose
neutral. Just like you said.
Yeah.
So Brannon chooses neutral. 2 minutes on the clock. Third period underway. 12-12 the score in the duel. 2-4 the score. And Brannon looking for the throw. Could not get it, but now he has the takedown, and they were all tied up at 4-4. And now Brannon's getting a little high on Eli Collins. We'll see if Collins can slip out the back here, but Brannon's got that tilt, Steve. They're trying to tell Brannon to just get out of bounds before he gets himself in trouble, and they call a stalemate.
Wow. That was one of those. Brannon did what he had to do. He got the takedown. He's tied this up, but almost instantly he was in a bad position and hanging on for dear life. Now we have a point awarded there. And so we're going to go back to neutral. We're going to go back to neutral, award the point. So, this is gutsy by Jack Brannon. And right now looks like
Collins with a takedown.
And that's huge for Collins. That puts him up 7-4 now.
And the 1:05 to go here in the third period. 7-4 in a pivotal match for this duel. Eli Collins with the lead. Here at 132 pounds. He's got another deep half in, Steve, with a minute to work with it.
Right, and Brannon's got to be aware here that there's still a lot of time left. And
another
like
stalling call, and that will award a point to Eli Collins, the second call of such. With 35 seconds left in this third period, Eli Collins suddenly in full control.
Yeah, Casey Conover kind of feels that Brannon's let down here, shut down, and now he's down 8-4 on the scoreboard. 20 seconds left to go. And I don't know if he's out of gas or it's the emotional thing there when he made the choice to go neutral and give Collins the go-ahead point there, 5-4, and not able to get the takedown then. That was just a heartbreaker for him.
So that will do it. Eli Collins, 3-0 on the night. A big win over Jack Brannon there. 2 pins in the first 2 duels of the evening and an 8-4 victory over Riverside's Jack Brannon. Puts his team on top 15-12 in the duel as AHSTW takes the lead. Good action here, Steve. This is fun.
Yeah, another great duel, and we've had some great matches tonight and 2 outstanding dual meets. The Missouri Valley Treynor duel, and then coming up this
Missouri
one,
Valley,
this one, yeah.
Riverside.
Yeah.
Correct? Or Missouri Valley HSTW. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll get it right eventually.
Yeah.
Jackson Gordon and Tyson Osbar here at 138 pounds. Osbar for HSTW, Gordon for Riverside, and Gordon immediately in on a shot here. And a nice whizzer there by Tyson Osbar. And now a mad scramble, and straight to his back goes Osbar. Osbar in trouble, and he's pinned. Tyson Osbar got himself in a little bit of trouble, and Jackson Gordon with the pin there for Riverside, and back on top go the Bulldogs.
Well, you said that. He went straight to his back. Jackson Gordon had it locked up, and there really wasn't any place for Osbar to go.
Impressive stuff there from Jackson Gordon, and then HSTW is forced to forfeit 145. So Riverside, just like that, takes a 9-point lead, 24-15 in this match.
Boy, that's tough when you've got to give that forfeit at 145 in the middle of your lineup. That's a tough one.
It's not it's not one you see forfeited very often.
No, you see some gaps usually in the lightweights and maybe in the upper weights, but in the heart of the lineup, that is a tough one.
So now at 152 pounds, it's going to be Jet Rose versus Dayton Mortal. We've seen both of these guys tonight, and these guys like to get after it. This one should be a fun one here, Steve.
Yeah, they're scrappy. These guys will battle.
Of course, both fell in close matches to Danny Kinsella. Both of them working for wrist control here. Now Mortal in on a single leg, turns it into a double leg, dumps off Rose here.
Rose really showing some good balance, able to get his hips back right and get sprawled out. Now, again, Mortal trying to work that double, trying to dump to the side. He does. Can Rose get out?
There it is. Dayton Mortal with the takedown. 45 seconds into this match, takes a 2-0 lead, and now he goes to work on top with the chop and jam. Tight waist there. We've seen those AHSTW wrestlers do that a lot. They love a 2-on-1, and they love a tight waist, Steve.
Yeah, good job of controlling wrists from on top. He's going to turn him loose. I think that was kind of a 50-50 where Jet Rose got to his feet, and I think Mortal decided rather than try to fight and use a lot of energy, possibly get a stalling out of it, he'll just cut him loose.
2-1 the score, 38 seconds left in the first period. Dayton Mortal with a 2-1 lead over Jet Rose in a close dual meet.
Oh, another nice shot by Mortal.
He's in deep on a single here. Trying to fight it off is Jet Rose, but he's beat right now. Dayton Mortal trying to work through it. Rose has that back ankle. We'll see if he can get a stalemate out of this.
Trying to work that crossface, but I think you've got just about a death grip there by Mortal on the right leg, and we'll have a stalemate.
The stalemate. Nicely done there by Rose, though, Steve, to get that stalemate.
Yeah.
Because he was dead to rights there for a second.
Yeah, Mortal was in deep.
8 seconds left in the first period. 2-1 the score. Dayton Mortal with the lead over Jet Rose here at 152 pounds, and that takes us to the second period. Some action there at the end.
Yeah, Rose initiated a takedown. Didn't have enough time to get it to develop and finish. Well, you just have a feeling these two guys are going to battle and battle and battle. And
hard crossface there.
Yeah.
From Jet Rose.
Mortal in the down position there, and saw that right arm of Rose coming.
Another hard crossface. We saw a lot of.
There's a cradle from a stand-up position.
Yeah, it is. There's a cradle. We'll see if Jet Rose can capitalize, and he does. To his back goes Dayton Mortal in a mad scramble. Jet Rose with the cradle trying to finish it off. Mortal in trouble, but he's trying to roll through it, and he does. Well done there by Dayton Mortal, and now he gets the reversal. What a scramble there from Dayton Mortal, and it's back to all evened up at 4-4. Well, and now to his back goes Jet Rose. Mortal looking for the pin. Rose in trouble, and that'll do it.
Wow.
Dayton Mortal with a clap of the hands and a raise of the arms and a wild sequence there. 30 seconds of mayhem, and Dayton Mortal comes out on top with the pin, Steve. Wow.
What an amazing turn of events. Mortal trying to stand up. Rose able to get him cradled standing up. Brings him back to his back. Somehow Mortal able to fight his way out of it. Reverses Rose. Drives the half. And wins by a pin. Wow.
Wild stuff here in Treynor.
24-21, 160-pound match coming up.
So what is it, 5 matches to go here, Steve?
Yes, and the folks that have stuck around for the nightcap here in Treynor,
they're enjoying a treat.
Are getting a treat. Immediately,
Caden Baxter in on takedown of Jonathan Gonzalez. And Baxter, as we saw earlier with that classic match with Ben Hansen of Missouri Valley, ended up getting pinned, but it was a great match. And now we have some loose headgear here on Gonzalez. But Baxter already up 2-0, just 17 seconds in.
I think he broke the...
No, he broke his headgear.
Broke the chin strap.
Baxter took him down so hard he broke his chin strap. They're going to tape it up.
Got to go to the training tape.
They're going to take it up. Tape it up.
Tape up.
You can't just borrow some headgear, Steve? I don't think that tape is not going to hold, Steve. There's no way.
Okay. We'll pick an over-under. 20 seconds? Will it last 20 seconds?
I don't think so, man. It's just taped with one piece of athletic tape. One crossface, and that thing's going again. I don't know why they didn't just give him a different pair of headgear, but it is what it is. Baxter cuts him.
Yeah, Gonzalez got to his feet. Baxter decided, okay, I'll let you go, and we'll go takedowns again.
Baxter with a nice collar tie sweep by ease. He does it for Caden Baxter. Now with Gonzalez has a leg here.
Yeah, Gonzalez
has deep on that leg.
To his feet, stepping behind now.
But immediately Caden Baxter able to get back on top here.
He's got the leg locked in. And
the 20 seconds is hit. The headgear is still intact, so we both lost.
Yeah, and it's not that they were passive there. There was a lot of action. That headgear had a chance to come off, so we'll give the trainer over there credit for.
Jonathan Gonzalez in trouble here as he is turned to his back by Caden Baxter. Baxter looking for the pin to put his team on top. Gonzalez fights off his back for the time being, and he's able to roll back to his stomach, but 3 back points there for Caden Baxter makes it 7-1, and now Gonzalez in some real trouble here, but once again able to get out of it for now, and now he's right back to his back, and that'll do it. Caden Baxter makes quick work of Jonathan Gonzalez. 1 minute and 34 seconds for the pin there at 160 pounds, and right back on top goes AHSTW in this seesaw duel.
What impressed me there was Caden Baxter did a great job. Every time Gonzalez was able to fight off of his back before he could get to his base and establish some kind of a foundation, Baxter was back on Gonzalez in another pinning situation. Gonzalez just didn't have any breathing time at all there.
So now we go to 170 pounds. This is a tightly contested duel here, and this should be a fun one. Isaac Stamp of AHSTW, AC Roller of Riverside.
Yeah, AC had a very physical match against Treynor.
Treynor's Josh Nelson, physical and even chippy at times, but AC Roller immediately in on a takedown of Isaac Stamp, and that's 2-0 to Roller in the first 20 seconds, and he looks to go to work from the top position.
Yeah, Roller's older 2 brothers wrestled in Tim Duff's program at Atlantic. And actually back here at Riverside is kind of the home school district where his dad back in the olden times wrestled for Oakland, played football for Oakland.
Roller still working on top here, has that wrist pinned. Just over a minute to go in the first period. Continues to elevate that wrist, Steve.
Now that's one of the things we noticed in his match earlier tonight. Constantly on the attack, attacking arms, and he's going to work for a tilt here. Try to pull back now. This is one of those things that in the rules, they're going to wrestle here. Even though they're mostly out of bounds, they're going to get the opportunity to wrestle for a little bit till Roller's foot finally went over the line.
Final duel of the night here in Treynor. 27-24 the score. AHSTW with the lead. But AC Roller with a 2-0 and make that 2-1 lead over Isaac Stamp. Make that 4-1 lead over Isaac Stamp. 4-1 on the takedown here on the near side of the mat right before they go out of bounds. So 30 seconds on the nose left in this first period at a 4-1 lead for AC Roller, trying to potentially tie or take the lead for his team here at 170 pounds.
How about that for some mat savvy there as
experience?
You know, it's one of those things. Stamp had the escape, turned and faced him. Stamp's standing on the out of bounds, and Roller inbounds. Grabs his feet, pulls him back in, and enough for a takedown.
AC Roller is just a sophomore, Steve. That's pretty darn good for a sophomore.
Yeah.
So
like I said, he had two older brothers that wrestled, and he's probably been let's be honest, he's been the practice dummy down in the basement since he was probably about 5 years old.
Yeah, I'd believe it for sure. But now he's out here.
Yeah, now
with
it's
a
his
4-1
turn to
lead.
dish
Yes.
it out.
Make that 5-1 as AC Roller immediately gets out. Well, they didn't give him the escape yet. Still neutral for now.
Yeah, it never quite broke away.
Immediately went back in for the reshot there, but able to fend it off and take control again on the top position is Isaac Stamp.
Now Roller able to get his hips out, and Stamp's about to lose control, but we've seen him fight back from this position. And Stamp trying to reach for a cradle here, not able to get it locked up. Roller powers his way up to his feet now on the attack, gets an ankle, pulls his way in and gets a takedown. So relentless attack there by AC Roller.
7-1 now the score. Roller with the lead. 60 seconds gone in the second period. Roller's going to be looking for some bonus points, Steve, because they could be important in this duel.
And certainly, and he's attacking that arm, trying to get it hammered up, elevates it. Stamp, though, able to rip that wrist free. Gets it forward. Stamp's got to, I was just going to say, Stamp's got to get something going here, or he'll get warned for stalling, and he just did. He hasn't built a base now in over 30 seconds, and Roller is really working on that right arm. He's got it hammered up, trying to reach through, thread the lock and key, as they call it.
He's got 10 seconds to work here. Short time as the clock expires in the second period. Still a 7-1 lead for Roller, and he will take that lead into the third here at 170 pounds. I see Roller looking really good here against Isaac Stamp.
Looking dominant at this point. You know, just everything seems to be a little bit more AC Roller, a little quicker, a little more physical. And there he is, quick again, in on that ankle. Gets the takedown, 9-1, and there's your bonus point, Nick.
Yep.
So if that comes into play, and it might, it may be a big factor here. And a stalling on Stamp, so another point. That's going to make it 10-1 AC Roller, and Roller still on the attack. Stamp kind of in shutdown mode, just wrestling defensively underneath. Now he tries to come up, and Roller's going to cut him loose.
10-2 the score now. It's got to stay right here or get better for AC Roller to get that bonus point. He's getting on an ankle pick here, trying to drive forward into Isaac Stamp.
Yeah, and Stamp doesn't have quite the spunk he had earlier, and he's going to just concede that now. 12-2, AC Roller with a 10-point lead in this 170-pound match, and he goes right back on the attack, traps that right wrist, working forward on it. Stamp able to keep it underneath, 40 seconds left, and the Riverside bench is cheering AC on, wanting him to keep working. 30 seconds.
30 to go here in the third period. 12-2 the score. It's a 9-point lead. He needs to hold on to it for the bonus point. 12-3. And there's another double leg. Nicely done there by AC Roller. 15 seconds to go. He secures another takedown, and that should secure him the major decision, Steve. Nice performance here from AC Roller.
I'm impressed. He had the motor running the entire 6 minutes. He, start to finish, had the pedal to the metal and wrestled a physical match.
So the bonus points will give him 4. Should be 28-27 AHSTW.
Yep.
They have the score wrong.
So somebody over on the scores bench.
Trying to signal. There it is. All right. We got it. 28-27 the score now. AHSTW, or excuse me, Riverside with the lead. This is a coming down to the wire here as we go to 182 pounds now. And it's going to be Jackson Allen of Riverside against Colby Weiss of AHSTW. And
they had 3 minutes on the clock. They had one too many minute and one too few points there for a minute.
Allen and Weiss here. Weiss in on a single leg already. And able to get the trip and the takedown in the first 20 seconds of this match.
Oh, and he's going right to work. Good job attacking that arm. He's got the left arm hammered up. And chest into the shoulder now. This is going to be big bonus points. And there's the fall.
Wow. Quick work for Colby Weiss. 43 seconds is all it takes to put his team back on top, 33-28, and this is going to come down to the wire, Steve.
You just have that feeling, don't you? It's been back and forth. We've had some great matches. Three matches to go, and we're at 33-28.
Got 95, 220, and 285 left on the docket here. 95 will be Caden Forrestall for Oakland Riverside against Logan Heller of AHSTW. Of course, Heller, when we saw him earlier, kind of got caught by Rafe Gayer of Treynor. Looked like he was going to be well on his way to winning that match before Gayer flipped him and pinned him.
Oh, a nice shot there by Heller in on the double leg. Forrestall, good reaction, but he's got an arm trap back.
Now Forrestall in some trouble here.
Oh, boy.
He's getting turned to his back, and Forrestall needs to try to fight this. It's not looking good for the Bulldog as Logan Heller trying to add more points to the Vikings, and he does. Logan Heller with the pin of Caden Forrestall at 195 pounds, and just like that, AHSTW, 2 pins in 40 seconds, and they're back on top by 11.
Yeah, with a little bit of breathing space here.
And that might just do it, Steve. It looks like they're going to pack it up and call it. AHSTW is going to win this duel Riverside will forfeit out, and that will do it. AHSTW, the winners of the night, they go 3-0 in the evening. Impressive stuff here from the Vikings tonight. What'd you like out of their wrestlers, Steve?
Well, I like the aggressiveness, and I think we had some matches there where kids wouldn't quit. They maybe got down early in a match and came battling back, and we saw that in every dual meet that we looked at tonight. Some individual kids that really showed a lot of heart and wouldn't quit, and it, especially in a close dual meet, that can mean so much. I think we're going to have a couple JV matches here to finish the night, but
I'm thinking Eli Collins, wrestler of the night there, Steve. He looked really, really good at 138 pounds, had 2 first-period pins against Treynor in Missouri Valley, and then was able to get that late win over Jack Brandon in the 3rd period when his team really needed it. I think he was probably the standout performer of the night for the Vikings.
I think so, and you know, I see a lot of good things in all the squads here, but I like that aggressiveness at attacking wrists and hands, and when you're in that top position, always trying to work for a half or an arm bar or something where you're keeping pressure on that guy underneath. You're not just sitting there on a tight waist hanging onto an elbow trying to ride the guy. You're on the attack, and I really like seeing that, and maybe that was best exemplified by AHTW tonight.
Fun stuff tonight with you, Steve. Obviously, not much left in the regular season. You and Trevor will be at the Hawkeye 10
down at Clarinda.
in Clarinda on Saturday, so tune into that. It'll be right here on the KMA video stream. That will be a fun day for you guys there in Clarinda on Saturday. I might even stop by if I have nothing to do.
Well,
one of my favorite tournaments. I grew up watching the Hawkeye 10 tournament, being from Glenwood, and it's always a good time.
Yes, and there are some outstanding wrestlers and some really good teams, and I think if you just went and, let's say, watched the 195-pound weight class, you'd get your money's worth.
Oh man, with C.J. Carter and Zane Bendorf of Harlan, C.J. Carter of Glenwood, of course Carson Downey of Clarinda. All kinds of talent there.
Yeah, I think Carson Downey's going to be a 182 for the Hawkeye 10.
Okay.
But it's been back and forth, and you throw in there some. We saw earlier Mason Kohler as a freshman wrestling at 220
won the Roland Dyer.
Yes, and you see a young guy like that, and you just wonder, you know, when is he going to wake up and realize, hey, I'm just a freshman?
Yeah, hey, the less you know, the better sometimes, Steve. The less you know, the better.
But I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of stories like that with the individual wrestlers going into that Hawkeye 10 tournament. And some of those are almost like blood feuds, as you mentioned, where they've wrestled each other back and forth multiple times.
Yeah.
No one with a clear advantage over the other.
All right, Steve. Well, it was a pleasure once again, good sir. I always enjoy it. Have a great rest of your week, and have fun on Saturday, my man. It's going to be a good time.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, AHSTW went 3-0 on the night. Treynor went 2-1. Riverside went 2-1. Mo Valley went 0-3. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Always a pleasure bringing this wrestling to you. For Steve Byer, I'm Nick Stavas signing off.